Thank you for having me. When I was in ninth grade, around 3 years ago, a speaker came to my high school under the guise of a mental health seminar. And that speaker turned out to be a representative for the Juul Corporation, which is one of the largest vaping conglomerates. And the speaker proceeded to send mixed messages about the safety of the devices, saying, quote, "It is the safest product on the market. It is, quote, 99% safer than combustible cigarettes, but we don't want you as customers." Clearly, when you tell teenagers not to do something, there's a good chance they will do it. And unfortunately, my school was not an isolated incident, as these big tobacco 2.0 companies continue to prey on the vulnerable youth under the guise of preventing the use of their products. As a result of the presentation, many of my peers began to question whether the products once seen as dangerous were even harmful at all, with some of my closest friends now believing their habits were justified due to a trusted adult telling them that it was safe. Thank you.
Caleb, did you ever take up smoking or try any e-cigarettes as a result of that presentation, and that, because of peer pressure perhaps from your own friends?
So I certainly, in my time in high school, with vaping being so prevalent, I cannot say that I've never used it. And I think that there should be no shame associated with using any of these products because they're just so prevalent in high schools. But yeah, a lot of my peers use these products. I've experimented with these products, and yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. And it's so interesting to see that, that they were sort of saying, we're not targeting you. We don't want you to be a customer. But ultimately, as you said, if you tell a teenager, don't do something, there's every incentive then to kind of go and do it as well.
We would prefer to not have kids on the continuum of risk, if at all possible, but we recognize that's not possible because kids are kids, and there's many, many, many reasons why they choose to do different types of things. I started saying that, we wish, at least from the FDA's perspective, that kids were not entering into the continuum of harm, but once they're there, how do we care for them? And, our messaging is prevention based, and so we're trying. We certainly acknowledge that teens are teens and that they are experimenters. If we get asked a specific question by a teen, either a direct message to us or via social media about the relative harms of vaping versus cigarettes, we try to be as clear as possible that if your comparator is a cigarette, vaping is less harmful. But vaping alone, especially if you've never been a cigarette user, vaping alone is not benign. And so we try to give them that frame of reference. And what I would say is kids are incredibly smart. I'm sure both of these gentlemen, I'm sure, see that. And they have a crap detector a mile wide. Like if we were to message proactively to teens that vaping is not as harmful as smoking, there are people on both sides of that argument, right? Mm-hmm. One is you could just give them the facts and let them make the decisions. The other side of the argument is then you're getting rid of all the protective factors and you're kind of giving them license to use. And so, we have not tried to tackle that directly in any of our proactive messaging. But when we get questions specifically in social or direct message, that's when we have that one-on-one dialogue.
Right.
Que paso? Hola. How are you? What's going on, people? I see there's people here. People are here. Raj was like the first one here. He was like here 5 or 10 minutes early, and he was trying to claim the award for being first, but that's okay. Everybody will get here eventually. And Toasty Cheese is here, and Michael Redfern and Steve and Bill Tarling is here. Bill's like really good at finding stuff out. I just have to say I like it when Bill comes to our show. But he does use the unsend button on Instant Messenger sometimes, and I'm like, what why did he unsend? I don't even, I'm like, damn, I don't even know what you sent me before you unsend it. But anyway, howdy everybody. Kevin didn't show up on time, and look, Victor Altec just showed up. He's our very good friend. He sent Kevin a monitor so that he would have a share screen, and sometimes Kevin actually uses it. But anyway, let's bring Kevin in.
Listen, I'm in no mood for you tonight.
Too bad.
Did you see what I tweeted?
Did you tweet something?
I twittered.
I was busy this afternoon, so I actually didn't even put any links in the show notes. So there we go. There, people.
Look at that. All I know is
that way, if I don't show something, then nobody can say that I was over promising, because you don't know what I'm going to talk about. I may not talk about anything, and I may just throw the link into the chat and let people come in and talk about shit. You never know what I might do. I might lose my mind tonight. Well, that actually is probably
there's something about evidence, and then I have to continually lower my standards because I'm already friends with you on Friday nights.
Exactly.
To the FDA. Right. I don't remember exactly what it was. But
it says, if you have evidence, here, I will present your insult. I will present your insult right on the screen.
Hiya, Victor.
You see, Victor showed up. He's
going to show my
he's here. Oh, here's the share screen. I will present your insult on screen for everyone to see.
Ooh.
See, it says, if you have evidence, should there be, I don't know what the hell what is this / here? Arguments, ?
Because that's what they said.
I cannot continually lower my standards. I'm already friends with Patrick on Fridays.
Just Friday.
Only.
Well, they have the evidence / argument, so I just put the argument.
No. See, I have to correct Raj. It's not that I'm unprepared. We have links. I just ain't giving them to you.
I bet I know them.
Kevin,
I didn't read them, but
Kevin and I have a whole thread where we throw links in. So
we talk about stuff, and
When we don't usually talk about stuff. Like, I have a link that Kevin sent. Now I'm gonna wait until somebody is here.
And
then show it. But No, I want to wait so that she can punch you in the nose when she sees you.
Oh, you mean the other one? Oh, I thought you were talking about the safer thing. That's
no, and I feel kind of bad. I feel kind of bad.
Oh,
so we should actually do that first. So last week we had like 800 links. We had video files. We had all sorts of stuff.
One-arm paper
hangers.
Ran
like 5 hours long. And I had been messaging back and forth with our very good friend Jeffrey, and I had promised to promote his safer thing,
and then you lied.
And no, we just ran out of time, and I was sleepy, and
so was I. We ain't doing no fucking 4 o'clock in the morning again.
No, we're not going to do that this week, But before we go into any other nonsense,
let's do that.
Let's go ahead and promote. We're going to play like 2 minutes, the first 2 minutes of this 13-minute long video, and praise Jeffrey Zamora for his awesomeness, and stuff. It's the first one was really done. It was done pretty well. Even though it was all in Spanish and we couldn't understand anything. This one has Ethan Nadelman in part of it. So part of it's in English. So
subtitled
non-Hispanic Spanish speakers.
Subtitled.
Yeah. Well, I can't read. So here, this is hashtag safer special. What is harm reduction? ¿Qué es la reducción de daños? So let's give this a couple minutes here.
I'm sometimes asked to define harm reduction. What does harm reduction mean?
Now, what does harm reduction mean, Kevin? To you?
A less harmful alternative to something safer than what you already are choosing to do.
So that's what hashtag safer means?
Well, that's off the cuff for me.
Oh,
You said for me.
okay. Well, yeah, for you. I mean, we're going to get a good definition from Ethan Nadelman. So
there's a
I want your half-assed. So normally when you do like a reaction video, you're supposed to pause it so that you don't get copyright struck. I'm pretty sure that Jeffrey's not going to strike us. But anyway, let's keep going.
And the best way I found to explain it is to give 4 definitions. The first definition of harm reduction is about the origins of harm reduction. It's harm reduction as needle exchange programs. It's the that emerged in the 80s when people began to realize, first in the Netherlands and Europe and elsewhere, that HIV just through heterosexual injecting users sharing their equipment, right? And it was the Dutch who 40 years ago said, you know what, if this is happening, yes, we want the drug users to stop, but let's just put at the drop-in centers, here's a bucket to drop your dirty needles, here's a bucket to pick up some clean needles. It was just a pragmatic intervention to try to get people living disorderly lives to basically practice harm reduction, to reduce the risk of getting and transmitting HIV. So harm reduction begins there.
So you would think, Kevin, that people would be like super eager for harm reduction because even at this time, if we're just talking about the part of the definition that Ethan just mentioned, needle exchanges to reduce the spread of HIV. So you have to believe that in the 80s, treatment of people with HIV/AIDS, because back in those days, you didn't stay. HIV is sort of the less horrible part of AIDS. Like when you go to full-blown AIDS, like it's compromised your entire body and it's active and spreading everywhere throughout your body. But anyway, you would think that people would especially the people that like govern the purse strings would find a cheap solution, needle exchanges would be amazing and awesome because that means less money treating the patients that have. Now, again, in the 80s, full-blown AIDS was costing a lot of money.
Yes.
And here in the States, we had in as much as you like, or as much as I have praised Reagan about certain things. The way he handled AIDS was horrible. Yeah. Like ignored thousands, if not millions of deaths, just like worldwide.
Yeah.
Had no compassion at all because
we don't like those people. So
yes, it was a demographic of people that he
it was pigeonholed fuck you
that he thought was evil. That whatever that's he's from Hollywood in the early part of the 1940s, 50s, 60s, whatever. Tons of his friends subsequently to this, you find out that they were living shadow lives in the closet. But anyway, like his treatment of the the beginning part of the AIDS epidemic was horrible and abhorrent. But anyway, let's keep going.
Harm reduction then goes broader than deficit, and harm reduction defined as any policy or intervention that seeks to reduce the negative consequences of a risky, dangerous, or otherwise, or what some people regard as immoral activity. It's harm reduction as motorcycle helmets and as football helmets. It's harm reduction as seat belts. It's harm reduction as designated driver for people who get drunk but should not drive, so somebody else will drive. It's harm reduction with overdose by making the antidote naloxone available, or by having Good Samaritan 911 laws so people can call emergency services if a friend overdoses without worrying about the police arresting that. It's harm reduction in all the most commonsensical, pragmatic ways. Then there's the third definition of harm.
And there's an entire thread on my Twitter somewhere describing all of these sort of normal harm reduction strategies that people embrace day to day. We did an entire show, the A to Z of harm reduction, and that brings up fire extinguishers, seat belts, helmets, all of that stuff. We did 2 entire shows. We did it twice, Kevin. But anyway, here we go.
Harm reduction. And that's harm reduction as policy. It's the one that says that the best drug policy is the one that accomplishes 2 harm reduction objectives, that seeks, on the one hand, to reduce the negative consequences of drug use, the addiction, the death, the disease, the criminality that grows out of asocial behavior, but that also tries to reduce the negative harms, the negative consequences of drug prohibitionist or unproductive drug regulatory policies. The crime, the violence, the corruption, the inefficiencies, the black markets, the violation of human rights.
So is he talking about the war on drugs there, Kevin? Because that's not really a harm reduction strategy.
The lack thereof, maybe?
Yes. So he's anti-war on drugs is what he's basically saying, Kevin. Yeah. Prohibition, black market, all those things are bad policy.
It's therefore the one that says the best drug policy is the one that balances 2 harm reduction objectives, reducing the harms of drugs and the harms of drug control policies. The 4th definition really falls into 2 parts, and they both have an ethical dimension. So 4A is the one that says harm reduction is about meeting the drug user where they're at. It's about meeting them, in the way in which an abstinence-only approach, if somebody who's got a problem with drugs shows up at an abstinence-only program, they're asked, are you ready to stop using drugs? Because if you say no, I can't help you. And come back another time when you're ready to stop using drugs. But it's the opposite approach when you go to a harm reduction program or a harm reduction, a helper. That person doesn't ask, are you ready to stop drugs? That person asks, what is it you want to accomplish in life? I mean, what are you trying to do? Do you want to get a legal job? Do you want to stabilize your life? Do you want to regain custody of your children? Do you want to take better care of your parents or your family? Let's focus on what you want to accomplish in life and then figure out the ways in which your drug use is getting in the way and how we can help you to manage or control your drug use, or maybe one day stop your drug use so that you can better lead the life you want to lead. It's that basic idea of not demonizing people solely because of the drug that they're using.
So which one of those methods seems or feels more compassionate? The guy that says, are you ready to quit? And if you're not ready to quit, you have to go away and come back when you are ready to quit. Or the one that will say, I will meet you where you are and help you get to where you want to be. Mm-hmm. So, there are people in our community that have in the past demonized dual users.
Yeah.
People that aren't ready to completely quit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then you're not really a vapor if you're still smoking. And there was a time that a guy that owned a vape company was going to events, and when nobody was looking, he would go out the back door and smoke a cigarette sometimes because he was still, in that sort of position where he was still smoking once in a while, and people actually drug him all over the vaping social medias that he was still smoking. So, this is not one of those, oh, well, they do that and we don't. That's bullshit, because
those people,
Kevin and I don't do it. We've never drugged somebody for smoking a cigarette.
But I know of.
There are people in our general cloud of atmosphere, in our orbit.
I saw what you did there.
That still does. So I want everybody to understand that our group, our people are not always in the same place as we are.
Some people like pineapple on pizza.
I
Who am I to
actually have no
judge?
problem with. I like ham and pineapple pizza.
I don't.
Anybody that
I
doesn't
don't.
like what I like.
But that doesn't make me like you any less.
Exactly.
You specifically, at least. If Michael liked pineapple on pizza, God love you. Yeah, good.
I like Michael Redfern. Michael is like on my good list this week because he mentioned us in several tweets this week.
He did.
And somebody was asking for good videos to watch.
Well,
and
yeah.
Michael said, "Hey, here's Patrick's YouTube." I was like,
so he can eat all the pineapple he wants. Now,
I will not make too much fun of Michael tonight.
I have a question.
And he's also on my team because he also likes pineapple on pizza as well.
I have a silly question for you.
What?
Why do you wear a hat?
Because I wanna.
All right. Do you know why I wear a hat?
Because you're bald headed.
Because I'm bald headed, my ass. So
because your head is cold. I don't know.
Well, the light's in my eyes. It's reducing the strain, right? 1, 2. I'm very fair skinned. All these freckles someday will grow together and I'll have a beautiful tan. But until then, I wear a hat.
No, you just have to steal more souls until you
to
fill
help
up all
protect.
the
Shh, don't tell them. The sun reduces its wrath upon me because I'm concerned that I might get skin cancer. And I've always worn a hat really outside because the sun just bakes me to the redness of a monkey's ass, if you will.
Yeah.
So harm reduction.
Yeah.
Sunscreen, harm reduction.
Hey, I'm taking next week off of work. It's the first time, other than when I broke my leg. That doesn't count because that was medical leave. But I'm actually taking a week off work, and I have. Speaking of harm reduction, I have a dentist appointment. I have an eye exam. I have labs, an appointment for lab draws, and a checkup appointment with my doctor. And I'm going to say, Doc, hey, is this skin cancer? Do I need to have it removed?
There you go.
The girl was cutting my hair last week, and I was like, hey, be careful, because she was shaving me. I said, be careful of my skin cancer right there. And she said, that's not skin cancer. Quit talking about skin cancer.
We do not, Steve. We do not. It's just something we're unable to do. Well, we can, but
they know that they don't have any melanin, so they will get more skin cancers.
It's an evil friggin' thing. So
in
the shade and in the sun.
We'll finish with Ethan real quick. I don't want to do the whole video, but I'm liking everything that Ethan is saying. So
Yeah. And that leads to part 4B of the definition of harm reduction. That goes to the core principle that really drives most of us involved in drug policy reform and in harm reduction more broadly. It's the one that says nobody deserves to be punished simply for what we put in our bodies if we're not hurting anybody else. That nobody deserves to be punished or discriminated against or amongst based solely on the basis of the substance we put in our body. It's the one that says to a parent who, God forbid, has 2 children addicted to drugs, one to alcohol, let's say, or nicotine, and the other one to heroin or to cocaine or methamphetamine. It's the one that says there is no legitimate basis in science, in medicine, in the Bible, even in any ethical code for discriminating in the way we treat those 2 children. And saying that because this first child has an addiction to alcohol and the second one has an addiction to cocaine, that one will not suffer any criminal consequences, unless they get behind the wheel of a car and run somebody over, unless they commit a crime. Whereas that person addicted to the illicit substance can be sanctioned, arrested, lose their freedom, their job, even if they never hurt a soul. So that big definition of harm reduction, that ethical one, that's the one that ultimately drives me. But I'll say that in my advocacy, I almost never start off by pointing to that principle because most people don't get it at first or they don't agree with it at first. I argue all the other policy arguments and the public health arguments and the economic arguments and all of those. And only in the end do I bring in the core ethical argument, the core argument grounded in respect for our own sovereignty, our own control of our own minds and bodies, that core human rights, civil libertarian principle.
So now, since Kevin and I, or it's mostly Kevin's fault, didn't do our job as we promised to promote this video last week. Everybody in the room must go to their tweets. Go to their tweets right now.
Chop chop.
I got to get the link over here. I'm gonna copy the link and throw it into the chat room. Paste.
Jeffrey rocks safer.
I'm throwing that into the rooms, and I want each and every one of you. You have my permission to keep this window open and go to your Twitter window and tweet the fuck out of this video, because we dropped the ball last week. So Jeffrey might beat you. I'm gonna go over here to my tweets, and I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna share screen. I'm just gonna type it real quick. To watch this video ASAP. At Jeffrey. Jeffrey.
I like him way better than you.
Gets
safer.
The best definition of hashtag harm reduction out of Ethan Nadelman that has ever been committed has ever been recorded
safer hashtag
on video.
I'm sorry.
No. Boom. There's the link to
safer.
Check out the
Did you get a check yet?
film hashtag safer colon what is harm reduction? I can't spell. Now.
Before you hurt yourself.
In OW exclamation there. Tweet.
Well, look at you go. You go, girl.
I tweeted it.
Twitter.
It has now been tweeted.
Tweeter.
Now I feel less. I feel less guilty. I feel less guilty for forgetting to do it last week.
Let's reduce the harm of guilt in your head. Okay, good.
No, the guilt is still there. I'm Catholic, so we're pretty good at managing the guilt.
As long as you're doing your hails, you're fine.
No, I might actually have to pay for a dispensation.
Oh, is there a fee now?
You can actually pay extra for a fee and not have to do any extra stuff.
Really? I didn't know that. Huh. I was Episcopal. I was the off branch.
They're essentially Catholic light.
Right, yeah. It's an off branch. It's a subsidiary, if you will.
That's just that. The only reason that church exists is because the King of England wanted to get a divorce, and the Pope said, "Hell no." That's the church of the Anglican Church is the mama church of the Episcopal Church. Yeah. Let's scroll. What was the? Oh yeah, Jeffrey Jeffrey hit me up last week, and he said, "Hey, do you remember that tweet that had all of the comments from all of the different health organizations that somebody had put up in one big picture?" And I'm like, "I remember." And he said, "Can you find it for me? I can't find it." So I was like, "Okay, which one of the people did I know retweets everything?"
Yeah.
And I knew not to go to your Twitter because you do retweet everything, but there's 8 million pieces of media. This is this is how to find shit on Twitter 101 for people. So then I was like, okay, who else retweets everything other than Kevin that I know of that can find it real fast? So I did an image search on Raj's Twitter. And I was like, okay, so is this the one? And he said, that's the one. I said, there it is. See?
There you go. I had the little one on the right.
But this one was the one that he wanted. And I was like, see?
Yep.
But all I did, just so everybody knows, you can go to somebody's file on their Twitters. This is Raj's. This is where I clicked on media, and it pulls up every tweet that Raj has on his profile that has images. Now you can also go over to his Twitter and type in Raj, and then orgs. That was what I did was I typed Raj at Raj, and then I typed in the word orgs, and it pulled up, and then I clicked on media, and it pulled that it was right there. It was easy to find. So when you're looking for something like that, little simple things like we've shown you how to do custom searches on Twitter before, but you can also look for images. Even though if you don't know the name of it, you might think of a word that might have been in the tweet.
Yep.
And go that way and then click on images. So that was just a little thing I wanted to bring up just to show y'all that aren't as awesome as Kevin on Twitter and don't have 18 million followers.
Is it 18 million now?
18 million.
I don't know.
18 million. That's a real number. I'm just saying.
It's almost like a gazillion. I'll admit I was doing a little follow. What do you call it? Follow strike or something. People followed, and I was ignoring most of it because I just believe they're all politicians and bots. But I got on there, and it's inevitable every time I do this that I'll get a message, hi, and hey, look at this, and buy this, and fuck off. So
if you am inevitable,
just hunting rabbit, like Bill said. I'm gonna unfollow you and mute your dumb ass as fast as I can go when you do that. I'm not interested in it.
Just muting people, Kevin.
I don't care. I don't give a shit.
That's not nice.
Okay. Well, that's your opinion.
That's not nice. Oh, that's the same thing that I just did. No, not that.
And then I've actually been not scolded, but I've been informed that sometimes you just don't do this. You just hit follow. If I have to be confirmed or whatever it is, because you mute I don't know what you do. You check me first or whatever. Or I check you. I unfollow you. I also have followed porn stars, and then somebody's like, "Hey, you're following a porn star." Well, no, I didn't. So now I kind of go through about 10 tweets. And if you don't have it,
we know that we know that you're following porn stars because you think he's cute.
Bruni is not. Never mind.
He is the Thunder from Down Under. That's what you keep calling him. I'm just saying.
So careful who you follow and how you follow and why you're following.
That's what I'm saying, Kevin.
That's it.
So there's the news story. The news story of the week, Kevy Webby.
Yeah.
Is that data shows that there are fewer adults smoking cigarettes than ever. And there's more vapors, apparently.
I heard something
that more people are vaping. Just saying.
Ain't
So
that crazy?
For all you whiners out there, here's the link for the story.
This is across the board, mind you.
Yeah, well, what board? I'm bored sometimes, but okay.
Well,
so it says here, data shows fewer adults are smoking cigarettes, but vaping numbers are up.
Right.
Should we risk playing the video?
Go ahead.
I am a real
I'm a real customer. Hey, I called the AC guy today. My AC was frozen up in the morning. By the time he turned it back on. It was working, and he said there's nothing to.
Smoking cigarettes is health experts concerned.
It's a sign of the times. A new government report shows fewer people are lighting up. Last year, cigarette use hit an all-time low among adults, with just 1 in 9 people claiming they are smokers. It's a significant drop from the 1960s when almost half of American adults were smoking.
We're now at about 11%, which is fantastic because smoking takes the lives of nearly 500,000.
Okay, so now they're saying 11% of adults are smoking. Isn't that the same percentage they're saying that teens, 10 or 11% of teens isn't?
Yes.
Is that the number, Kevin?
Yes.
So what we're
we're
catching up to them? Yeah.
Evidently.
I
don't know.
So apparently
people every single year.
But the report warns nicotine consumption remains a concern. While traditional cigarette smoking is less popular, e-cigarette use is up. And reports show it's just as addicting. Products are promoted as a healthier alternative.
A set of chemicals to another set of chemicals.
Data shows younger vape users are.
So one set of really bad, like 1,100 horrible chemicals or whatever, to a very small, much smaller, less risky, much safer percentage of chemicals. See how they like to use that word chemicals because it's scary, Kevin. Chemicals,
nicotine,
iced tea is a chemical. You know? Just saying, you assholes.
Attracted to fruity flavors and catchy packaging, and very few traditional cigarettes about use.
Oh, it's just safe for you, and it's absolutely backwards.
Popular e-cig company Juul is paying $62 million to settle claims by multiple states and DC that it targeted teens and to a vape crisis. Products on the market now, like the Halo Smart Sensor, detect vape smoke and THC in the air. These devices are helping curb vape use in schools. Districts are installing them in bathrooms and locker rooms.
It's a silent alarm, so it just triggers an alert to principal, the security officer, or resource officer that might be in the school. It even has the ability to detect when it's with body spray and other things.
Schools country are on these are deploying the technology.
So instead of saying, "Oh, great, smoking is an all-time low,"
no,
damn it, let's just attack the alternative. Let's attack the thing that has gotten people off of
smoking.
The horrible cancer-causing. Yeah, we're losing money, Kevin. We got to do something about our bottom line here.
Racketeering is.
Let's just drive people. Let's just drive people back.
Well,
to smoking.
I don't see. I'm not quite sure how difficult that's going to be, but we'll see.
So
I'm amazed
Michael
that it's
says,
dropped as
isn't
low as
that
it
the
has.
point of switching to vaping? So here's the thing, and this is the fight, this is the argument that we've had from the beginning.
Mhm.
And that chick just said it. Well, you're just trading one nasty habit for another nasty habit.
Yeah. My mom told me I was still smoking, and then I used a couple of expletives.
So, I mean, technically, I mean, for habits, like, you know, when Kevin and I were young boys, like we had to use our hand, but now they've got new products that are able to do the deed better.
What?
You're just trading one bad habit for another.
But her name is never mind. What? All I know is fuck off when they're all right. So if an alcoholic, as an example, if an alcoholic decides he's going to drink or she's going to drink ginger ale, I don't know, 5 gallons a week or 5 gallons a day or whatever the fuck, that's probably not good for them either, right? But
yeah,
who cares?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a bad analogy, but
Mallory says that when she was in high school, the massive amount of deodorant and perfume, that alarm would be going off 24/7. Yeah,
I was in
there
high
were
school
kids when I was
Rain.
when I was in school. It was what Polo was like and that is
Drakkar.
that was the most awfulest smelling cologne ever made. It is horrible. And if you
Drakkar.
smell it, you know it's a teenager, and he sprayed half the bottle on himself. That is some nasty smelling shit. I'll tell you that for sure.
Drakkar and White Rain. That's all I can remember.
White Rain? That sounds like, isn't that Elizabeth Taylor's
hairspray
perfume?
I don't know. The 80s, the big hair.
I thought hairspray was Aquanet.
Aquanet. Maybe it's a regional thing, Patrick. I don't know.
Louisiana House Committee sucks the flavor out of vape products. You see how they tried to make that sort of catchy headline there? Sucks the flavor.
How to protect cigarettes 101. Louisiana State House.
I think Kevin sucks the flavor all the time. The House Judiciary Committee voted 7-3 Thursday to advance a bill prohibiting flavored nicotine products used in vaping. House Bill 179 was authored by Rep. William Wheat, a Republican from Ponchatoula. Wheat was concerned when the rising use of vapor and tobacco products by young people. He described it as being in epidemic proportions, Kevin.
My God.
We're back to the vaping epidemic again.
He's not worried about access.
Yeah. Witnesses testified about the dangers of vaping. One witness was the mother of a Baton Rouge boy who died after using vapor and nicotine products. You lying whore.
Mm-hmm. Was she lying?
She's a fucking lying whore. We all know that has never happened. She just doesn't want to admit that her boy was vaping some sort of illegal THC product, or probably vaped and did something else and got sick and died of something else. But God forbid her boy does anything more dangerous. He probably was vaping fentanyl or something.
Choir boy.
Yeah. According to Wheat, 52% of high school students have tried e-cigarettes, 3 times as many as in a study done in 2015.
Wow.
That is a lie. Wow. I want to see that. Because none of the numbers that we've seen say 52% have tried. If that was the case, if the federal government had a survey, if the National Youth Tobacco Survey, and it said 52% of high school students have tried vaping, the headlines would say 52% of high school students vape.
I've not seen that.
because they consider one-time use
Vapors.
habitual.
That's right.
Wheat said a bill was passed in a prior session making it illegal for someone under 21 to buy tobacco and nicotine products. However, that has not stopped younger people from obtaining them because your law enforcement people are not doing their job.
We know we're dumbasses, but we're going to continue that.
Yeah. Well,
You
they're breaking
understand.
the law, so let's just make another law
Oh,
that they're not going to follow. He went on to say he was trying to make sense of that and get things headed in a different direction. How about you write a bill that gives your departments of health or your local law enforcement extra budgetary money to enforce the laws they already fucking have?
no. Reallocate the bullshit that you're skimming from the MSA. Put it in there. Fuck
That,
you. Fuck that.
well, that too. HB 179 is not a perfect answer, Wheat said. He added, but it is our job to make the first step. The first step is to enforce the laws you already have, you moron, because then you don't have to take any more steps.
Patrick's on moron alert.
Well, I already said stupid whore, so I got to come up with a different thing. He said he is mainly. I apologize to the mother of the child that has passed away of something.
And all whores. And all whores.
But you're a lying whore if you think it was vaping nicotine. Anyway, he said he was mainly concerned with the flavor enhancers that entice teenagers to start vaping.
Wait,
and
I thought it was
according
the
to
nicotine.
and according to FDA, those same flavors help adults quit smoking. We have the memo. Representative
Yes, we do.
Mike Johnson, Republican from Pineville, spoke in support of the bill and called the company's efforts shameful for trying to get younger generations addicted. I can tell you, I still have not seen any of these marketing materials that these
Not
people
yet.
claim to exist, that these horrible vaping companies are trying to addict a younger generation. I've never seen a single one of these advertising materials that they're talking about.
Not one.
There were some concerns expressed by Representatives Nicholas Muscalero Jr., he's a Republican from Hammond, Louisiana, and Joseph Orgeron, he's a Republican from LaRose. Orgeron asked if traditional cigarette flavors such as menthol would be cut as well. Wheat said traditional cigarette flavors would not be banned. However, some neighboring states have worked toward that, he said. Let's do all the stupid things that other people are doing.
So
Alice
they're not banning
Klein,
cigarettes.
Alice Klein with the American Cancer Society joined Wheat during the introduction of the bill. She said they had been in communication and planned to work together to improve the bill, which means I am going to get the American Cancer Society to write a campaign donation check for this politician to write this bill the way we want it. Heather Hutton testified on behalf of vape shop owners. Good going on you, Heather Hutton. She stated that her shop is more than 20 years old.
What?
So out of all of the important shit that Heather said, the one thing that they're going to repeat in the newspaper is that her store is 20 years old.
Oh, well.
She also said that only 2% of her sales were menthol flavored or tobacco products. Referring to the bill, she said it would close down all your small businesses. Hutton said law enforcement officials should be holding young people accountable instead of taking the products away from adults participating legally. We like Heather. I think I know Heather, actually.
What?
I know so many people, Kevin. It's hard for me to remember everybody's names.
I'm concerned
Hutton
about your
also
lying
said the bill
whores.
would hurt those trying to quit tobacco products. Damn straight. Republican Edmund Jordan, the Democrat from Baton Rouge, said he believes that the flavors are addicting more youth than the number they're trying to quit smoking.
Wait a minute, Patrick. Is it the nicotine or the flavors? I'm lost.
It's the flavors, Kevin. It can't be the nicotine because nicotine patches are not habit forming.
Hang on, let me. Okay, so it's the flavors. All right, there, I got it again.
Now
All right,
they'll
I'm ready.
change it in the next article. I just want you to
Why,
know that. But you know,
Mechanical pencil.
is there an eraser? Does it have an erase?
Look how it's down to the nub. It's so used.
Hey, there's a guy in the chat room. His name is Bacon.
Tactical bacon. Oh,
Now I want to go to
bacon.
Denny's.
Now I'm hungry.
Actually, I would not go to Denny's. I would go to Cracker
Bastard
Barrel, but,
makes
you
me
know.
want to swear. Tactical makes me want to eat.
Did you not hear me just say lying whore? Like in the middle of that article that we just read.
I love that. Why they got to be lying?
I can see it now. There's going to be tweets all over the place.
Lying whore.
Patrick called some woman lying whore.
As opposed to standing. Well, you never know.
Oh.
Well, that was refreshingly fun. So it's the flavors, not the nicotine.
Now you're gonna love this next one, Kevin.
Hmm.
I'm pre-rubbing it so that it's already bigger.
But all right.
You're gonna love this one. I gotta close this ad down. All right. Let me hit the present. Let me actually give me 1 second to take a drink of my Arnold Palmer here.
Will you do that? Arnold Palmer.
Lemonade and iced tea.
Oh,
because I'm a grown-up adult person that likes flavors.
Bastard.
There used to be a company called Delaware Vapor back in the day that had an amazing Arnold Palmer e-liquid.
I've heard that technical.
Never vape bacon flavor?
Or crab. I heard. I love crab. I heard you can't.
Dimitri did vape crab, and so did Phil. I'm not stupid. Now, the one thing that I did vape that most people wouldn't was a habanero. It was like raspberry or strawberry habanero. It was a company, and it was called YOLO.
YOLO.
And it was great, but it destroyed coils. Like, it was a fucking coil killer.
Just bad, yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Well, it's okay. Let's try something here. See that?
Oh, you ready for this? Who is
Yeah,
that?
I'm ready. It's a newspaper article. See the lady smoking the cigarette?
Yeah.
It was somebody. It's a fireproof cigarette. It looks like the 60s. I don't know. I just thought that would be safer. You know, it won't catch fire.
A beehive. That might have been the 50s.
Yeah, you're right. It might have been the 50s.
That's Audrey Hepburn time. But anyway.
62.
Okay. So this says it's gone viral. And it says warning issued over new harmful lung illness caused by vaping. And this was published about 13 hours ago.
Brand new.
This is apparently what killed that kid in Louisiana that caused the lying whore to be a lying whore. A warning has been issued over a new harmful lung illness that's caused by vaping. E-cigarettes, otherwise known as vapes, have grown in popularity over the last few years. Seen as a healthier alternative to smoking, it certainly has its benefits for people who are trying to quit smoking. However, a warning has been issued regarding a harmful lung disease caused by vaping. And then there's a link to a lying video from FDA. Despite its being viewed as a better option to smoking, vaping certainly isn't healthy, and frequent use can cause health complications. Studies have shown that having a constant intake of the chemicals can cause irreversible lung damage, lung disease, and possibly death.
I'm trying.
There are even reports that it has a link to cancer too. Now, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click on this hyperlink to where they have studies have shown. I just want to see.
It's probably another article.
So this is not a study.
This is the Lung Association.
This is from Breathe the Lung Association. And it is a...
That ain't the States. Who is that?
It's a Canadian Lung Association.
Oh, okay. So they don't have any proof either. They just put a link in there.
There's absolutely no science here. None whatsoever. This is all
lying whore stuff.
Yeah, lying whores. There are numerous long-term illnesses associated with vaping, including ingesting heavy metals due to the coil decomposing when being decomposing.
I inhaled a Twisted Sister earlier. I could almost. There it is.
I mean, I have actually done body recovery and over 1,000 decomposing bodies. I have dug up. I have done post-mortem examinations, and I have identified human remains in a decomposing state, Kevin.
Yes.
I have never seen a coil decompose.
Not yet.
Just wondering. Now, a new harmful illness has been discovered linked to the use of e-cigarettes, Kevin.
No way. Fuck.
E-Valley, which stands for e-cigarette or vaping product, use associated lung injury, is caused by excessive vaping, which is linked to vitamin E acetate. Well, at least they got that part right.
Wait a minute. EOVPUALI. What the fuck is wrong with this person? Lying whore.
Vitamin E is a supplement considered safe when ingested or implied to this. It's very good for your skin, actually. If you have scars or injury, you can actually put vitamin E cream on there and it will reduce the visibility of scars. It is very wonderful for your skin. I don't know so much about ingesting it, but okay. However, it is used in vaping products as a thickener, a component in vapes that stops leaking from the tanks and thickens the vape juice.
What?
Now they're just fabricating a bunch of nonsense and lies. It is not used in any nicotine vaping products at all, ever, period. I mean, it is absolutely and positively being used in THC, or was being used in some THC products purchased on black markets by people in their basements, but definitely not by responsible THC vaping companies.
Wait a minute. Conjecture. I'm tweeting from my basement, not making.
Oh, I guess I should copy and paste this so you guys can go over
to find the lying whore.
And I wonder, what is this called again?
What? According
do
to
they
Harvard.
have a Twitter? Let's see. What is this? What is this trash? It's gone viral. Oh, look. They have a Twitter link up here, Kevin.
For them.
Oh, no. I'm going to click on that.
Go on about your lying whore bad self.
Oh, no.
Viral.
Oh, no. They're a media and news company. Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah.
All right, boys and girls. It's gone viral. Copy.
Paul's in here.
I see Tic Tac. Let's see. Kevin, do you have a screenshot of the FDA website where it points out that THC vaping is what contains? There is a thing on the FDA website that they finally admitted that, right? I'm
not positive of me actually having.
Oh, no. You know what? I think C-Doug. I'm pretty sure that C-Doug. Let's go to C-Doug. Let's see. Okay. At C-Doug. I'm pretty sure in one of the blasts that we.
Right. I was going to share my Victor screen, but all right.
Let's go vitamin. It's going to do this. We're going to show people live on screen how to do a search, right? Vitamin. That's all we need. We don't need vitamin D. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Vitamin E acetate.
Now we have photos.
So now I have to go over here to this tweet, and I'm gonna copy this right here. Blam. Copy. Now I have that in my clipboard.
Arsenal, I call it.
I have it in my clipboard.
Your lion whore section.
Now I will not use lying whore on Twitter. I have a rule about using bad words and insulting people on Twitter. However, if I use the back arrow enough, I'll go back to their profile. There it is.
Yeah.
So now, did they tweet this lying nonsense out?
I don't know, probably. Well, they've got all this stuff here, so this is.
It seems like
clear.
Nonsensical BS here. This is probably a trolling, but they claim to be a media, a news company, right there on their thing. Media company,
you can claim that,
and they've been around since 2009, right?
Yeah.
So we shall not allow this to stand, Kevin. Oh, I just saw thunder. We are in a thunder. We are in a thunder thing.
You saw thunder?
Let's see. I saw lightning. Excuse me. I just read.
Everybody point out that he saw thunder.
Worstest.
Worser. Some company used Worser a while back. All right.
Let's see.
Nonprofit.
The most. I want to be insulting, but not use foul language. I just read the.
Imbecile.
Most. No.
Amateurish.
Well, that would be actually the most amateurish, most.
That's all I got. Good night, folks.
Ish. Comma.
Journalism. Pseudo journalism.
Is it UE or AU? UE or AU, Kevin?
UE or AU what?
On amateur, is it EU or UE?
I think it's the way you have it.
I think it's the way I had it. Yeah, EU.
Because it would turn red underneath it, wouldn't it?
Under researched. I can't spell researched. Article. By. Period. Your lying whoreness. No, I can't use. Steve wants me to use whorish. I can't use that. Your article is full of lies and unscientific BS. Can I say BS? Is that or is that
Absolutely.
too aggressive?
It's nowhere near aggressive.
Okay. Unscientific BS. Period. Here is a link from one of the leading voices of tobacco. No, do we want to call him? What is he now? He's not really a leading voice of
former
tobacco control.
I say he's one of the leading voices still.
I don't want to say tobacco control though. I can say tobacco harm reduction. I can use that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Of voices of.
Of hashtag tobacco. Yes, I mean I put too much thought into my tweets, but my tweets are actually okay. Kevin just spurts nonsense and draws like
That's
lines
right.
and circles and stuff. And
I'm like a
nobody
lion whore with a pen. Yeah, that's what happens. Strumpet.
That's good Shakespearean on their ass.
It's strumpet. Is that like crumpet with an S? T. I don't know.
Refuting your
This. I want you to be happy
nonsense.
while you guys wait on Twitter Boy there.
Okay. Hey, you know what?
Happy.
I don't have 14,000 followers like you.
Lion whore. Now I
Now-
gotta look up strumpet.
Which one of these links is actually going to is
I
it going to
don't
be
know.
this preview, do you think, or is it going to be this preview? I put this one in first.
Here's what you do: you copy the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And then you tweet it, and then you look at it, and if it's fucked up, you can change it,
Well, I can
And
do
then
that
add-
anyway. Yeah. I
and
can
then
do
add
that.
it as a second tweet if you like.
Copy. There we go. Just in case. Tweet.
You could do a double
Let's go to
tweet
home
home
and see if my
profile.
yeah. See, good. It did the
There you go. That's it.
it did the boom. There you go. Okay. I don't feel I feel kind of dirty about reading this nonsense on the air, but it's just the fact that this was published 14 hours
14.
ago.
Yeah.
And they're calling E-Valley a new.
Well,
I mean, where the fuck have you been since 2017?
new to them, 2019.
I mean, I know, or yeah, 20. These damn Canadians.
Ooh.
According to Harvard Medical School, the most common brand associated with E-Valley is the Dank Vape, a brand of products containing THC, which is the principal psychoactive ingredient of marijuana. It is found in about half of the products associated with E-Valley, with a recent small study finding vitamin E deposits in lung tissue of E-Valley patients. Yale Medicine says the symptoms of E-Valley include shortness of breath, pains in the chest, nausea, and rapid heartbeat, among others.
Yeah.
All of the samples tested, not just some, all of them,
Mhm.
and none of them were nicotine vapes. Every one of them, you lying whore.
Oh, I don't know why they're lying. I don't know why
Why
I
am I
don't
so
say.
grumpy tonight, Kevin? I'm calling
I
people
don't
lying
know.
whores. Like twice now, I've called different people.
Have you? Can I, Michael?
See, we chased Michael out because I keep
Have you-
using the word whore.
Have you? Hiya, Frederick. Have
Hey.
you had enough nicotine today?
Fred's in the wrong place. I can't, even though I love Fred because Fred is my longtime friend. He's in the Facebook, and I specifically put in the nonsense above the thing. Stay the fuck out of the Facebook because I'm not going to talk to you.
I'll
I put
talk
it
to you,
right
Frederick.
in there.
I saw you.
There's a link to a YouTube channel.
Wah. You lying whore.
Lying whore.
What's that Gilbert Godfrey thing on? I forget what he
Affleck.
said. No, he's on.
That's a
He's on
different
Hollywood
thing.
Squares.
Oh, Skip might show up, but Skip's gonna get mad when I show her what Kevin sent me.
Kevin didn't send you shit, did I?
Oh,
I
that's
send
a
you
lie. That is an
Did I send it
absolute
to you?
lie.
I'm asking the question, did I? Because I don't remember.
Yes,
sending
I
it
said
to you.
yes, you did. And even if you didn't, I'm going to say you did. So
You lying whore. I might have sent it. I'm going to look, you fucker, because I don't trust you. Because you're a lying whore. I got to scroll the hell up.
poor Kev.
Let me see.
Oh, look at this. Here, let's see.
Not send you that, you fuck.
Oh, here. Oh, you'll love this one.
You sent
This is
me
from
that.
No,
Don't ignore my
no.
question, you fucker.
That's a lie, Kevin.
Oh, you sent me
Lies,
the
lies,
little
lies.
hoo-hoo thing. I got
Hoo-hoo
enough
thing?
problems. The
The hoo-hoo
moving
thing.
fucking whatever the fuck it is. What do you
Vaping
got?
in the presence of supplemental oxygen can lead
Oh,
to
Jesus.
burns, explosions, even death, Kevin.
Let's talk about Ray for a second, will we?
All right. Common
Second.
wisdom warns against smoking cigarettes in the presence of supplemental oxygen, whether at home, in a hospital, or in an industrial setting. Do you know how many welders I know that weld with a cigarette hanging out of the side of their mouth?
Yes, mechanics, and yeah.
In the modern era, with electronic cigarettes as an alternative, the press has extensively covered incidents of exploding lithium batteries and the burn injuries sustained by individuals in their vicinity.
Fred did what you told him. Now
I know he
Acknowledge.
did. Now he's got a Disney name though.
Disney something. Yeah.
I can't even say what sound does D and Z beside each other make? Is the D silent or is the Z silent?
Dizadra.
Yeah, I
don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, in an era of electronic cigarettes as an alternative, the press has extensively covered the incidents of exploding lithium batteries and the burn injuries sustained by individuals in their vicinity. But researchers led by Stephen Kahn, MD, chief of burn surgery at MUSC, recently uncovered a novel, underreported pattern of injury and shared their findings in the Journal of Burn Care and Research. Kahn and his colleagues reviewed National Burn Repository data for 2013 to 2016, as well as articles in the lay press, found that vaping in the presence of supplemental oxygen can ignite the oxygen, leading to burn, fire, explosion, even in the absence of any malfunction. So, I mean, if you're on supplemental O2 and you're using a mech mod, and the battery decides to vent, that is a dangerous situation for sure.
Absolutely.
There's no, I mean, I cannot argue that. Now, the incident, I mean, the number of people that are still using mech mods is relatively low. I mean, there are people, I have some mech mods right here on my desk. I'm not using any of them at this moment, but I have been known to use a mech mod from time to time. I have a really beautiful one right here.
Lying whore.
It's a hand engraved koi mod by House of Hybrids and my friend Mike Morgan. I love this device. However, the idea that a vape that is operating normally,
correct.
The idea that a coil, because there is no spark, so should you use supplemental oxygen while you're vaping? Probably not. I mean, there is a very, 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 very low risk that a battery could vent at that moment. It is extremely rare, but I have seen at a vape event in 2016, 2015, somewhere in that area in San Antonio, Texas, during a cloud comp, not somebody that was actually in the comp at that moment, but somebody that was beside the stage. Their mod decided to vent right there and then, and he dropped it because it was overheating, and it did explode, and pieces of the device were actually, 15 feet above the crowd in the suspended ceiling of the event. So it was quite volatile. I mean, I was there. Julie and Alex from CASA were standing right beside me. Dimitri and Phil were 10 foot away, witnessed the whole thing. But in all of the years that I've been at events,
Right. One.
That was the only time I've ever seen that occur.
Let me ask you. These are the CR123 batteries in this flashlight.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking powerful lights. Very powerful batteries. They can vent themselves. They've caught trucks on fire because they're touching other things that are metal, and click, boom, bang, you're done.
This is a CR123 right here.
Yes, it is. It's also called other things, but that's what it is. Now, when I have a gas leak, or what I thought was a gas leak, Janice called the gas company, and they came flying in here, looking around and doing their little meter thing, and they never thought once about using those. And these are just as powerful as, in my opinion, as
now,
the 18.
To be clear, in a flashlight, the filament,
yep,
would be the coil is under glass in a
correct.
Flashlight.
That's correct.
So,
and these are under.
But really, if you're using an atomizer, and I don't have a dripping atomizer in front of me because I don't really drip, but
I don't either.
That's really, because in this situation, like in a tank situation, the coil is under the glass,
right?
And there is liquid on this side. Now, through the top, there is a way for that pure oxygen to get in there.
It can,
but it would be very hard.
And you say you don't drip.
By the time it automatically, that's not a dripping atomizer. That is a
right. I had
that is a tank atomizer.
I'm saying you say you don't drip, comma.
I don't.
You lying whore. So there you go. But
only if I scratch the scabs.
See.
So
Now,
supplemental O2 that's in an oxygen tank is actually oxygen. It is actually flammable oxygen.
Yeah.
It's not air oxygen, which is O3. It is pure oxygen. So it could theoretically happen.
What is a welding tank? Acetylene?
It's oxygen and acetylene that you mix together at the torch head.
And that's just
and that is just to make it burn hotter.
Right.
You can control. That's why it's blue in most cases. But anywho, I'm not saying that this could never happen, but for them to go to all this trouble of writing a study,
right?
Somebody was getting research grant money so that they could do this. This is, in most O2 that your house, the oxygen that you're breathing right this minute is only 20% oxygen. Like normal air is 20% oxygen mixed with all the other shit. Whereas oxygen in supplemental O2 tanks that you use a nasal cannula or a mask for is pure oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and flammable.
But I just saw that and I was like, oh, well, yeah, that's funny.
Well, funny, all right.
It's
lion whores.
Lion horse. Lion horse. Let's see. So there's a lot of articles that are the same story over and over again about the number of smokers being at historic lows.
Nobody cares, Patrick. Well, some people care. Some organizations care. Oh, look, Addie skips on in the door with bells on.
Addie's always late. It's like he knows what time we come. Andrew showed up. Andrew's always 4 hours late. He's always showing up just when we're going home.
Going home.
Yeah. When you go home from work, that's
wait till
always shows up at quitting time.
Wait till he hears about the lying whores, and then he's going to think we're talking about
yeah, but I don't want to replay. I don't want to go back and redo the lying whore story just so that we can say lying whores another 20 times.
Come on.
See, we've done vaping is a horrible thing in Australia again.
Yeah.
Now we did stories last week about vaping on the rise in the UK and comparing the vaping epidemic in the UK.
Well,
to the American vaping epidemic. You remember that video we showed last week from Australia? No, it was England. About there's no filters in that. You remember that?
no.
That was
Yeah, they broke it out and dirtied it up.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Here's one for you, Kev. This will make you laugh, and at least just from a glance, even though it's not in the headline, the thing headlines because it's misleading. Let me in there. Did I don't like it when I flicker. Let's add this to the stream. Man arrested after high schoolers overdose used vape pens he sold them, police say. Now, below the headlines in much smaller and bold text, Cameron Beaver is charged with possession with intent to sell marijuana, manufacturing marijuana, and maintaining a dwelling for selling drugs.
So he wasn't on the street.
So this is not normal vape pen, but people are going to see vape pen until bottom of second sentence. Narcotics to high school students. Well, shame on him. I mean, high school students should have to smoke regular weed and not vape it.
That's right. So somebody breaking the law was helping others break the law.
That's ridiculous. Breaking the law, man. How ridiculous.
More heavy metal.
How ridiculous. Now, for those of you that don't know, because we have some oldies in the room now, and I don't know if Fred left, but Fred, that was in the chat room just a while ago, was the original founder of the vaping militia. He was the guy that came up with the entire idea of the vaping militia. And then since Al showed up, I had to point out, because Al made our vape bands back in the day when we were the vaping militia. So the originator of the whole idea of a bunch of scruffy guys standing up and researching and fighting the government, that was Fred's idea.
I like him better than I like you.
Yeah. Fred's a not a bad guy, actually. My wife, Fred, is like one of the only people from the vaping militia that my wife liked. Fred and Truck.
Not you, Fred and Truck. She didn't like you. I know that.
Well, I mean, she is married to me. So.
Sorry.
Addie has noticed that you're no longer in the jail and that you're actually in a new room.
Yes. I kicked the boys out and the cat. Out the door. No more cat.
Yeah. Tactical Bacon. They're right there. I have two whole sets because I have a membership tags and board of director tags. Yeah.
I wanted tags and I didn't get them.
Well, Fred's Steam was never actually he was in the militia, but he was not in the board. He never came to any events that my wife was at because we don't go to California. and Fred Steam, Fred, there's two Freds.
Yeah.
Is in California. Yes, Addie, you did send me a recipe. Thank you very much. But it just happens to be ingredients that I don't have.
Uh-oh. You'll have to go to the black market.
He did send me a birthday cake. He did send me a recipe for a birthday cake, and I don't have cheesecake stuff.
Black market. I hear you can get it.
I don't have it, and I don't have any of the. Actually, I do have the forest fruit. Yeah, that's the only one of these that I actually have.
Janice has some things she's going to give up, by the way. So, and I'm never going to use. So they're a couple years old.
Yeah, I mean, I exclusively used flavors from one specific flavor company.
Okay, I'll check. I don't know if she had cheese.
I have I sort of have
I don't know who she got
an agreement with somebody.
Agreement. Let's see, we're. All right, what else are you going to bless our presence with?
I don't know. Maybe I thought maybe we should throw the invitation to anybody that's in the chat room that has a camera and headphones or earbuds to come in and talk. And I mean, the idea might be to do that and to have a conversation about anything other than vaping.
Man.
Like a hey, how you doing conversation with no vaping content, just like, hey, how you feel, what's going on, what other interesting things do you have, are you interested in, something other than that. And no, it's not Sean Casey. I love Sean Casey, but he never offered me a contract. And Addie said he would love to, but he apparently doesn't want to wake his wife up and get punched in the nose for waking her up. That's why I don't live stream in the room where my wife is sleeping.
Well,
or watch videos on YouTube.
Janice is, well, wait a minute. Yeah, Janice is over there on the other side of the hall. And I've got a foam board there, a foam board in front of me just to cut down the echo.
The echo is actually not as bad this week as so Al will come in.
Ruh-roh.
There's the link for anybody else that wants to come. I must insist that you have headphones, please, because that does destroy the audio quality of anybody that wants to jump in.
Put your headphones into your third ear.
Owl does bring up something about AI. He said, let's talk about AI. Kevin and I did a segment when ChatGPT first opened, where we asked questions about vaping and the AI answered questions about vaping.
Yeah.
We already did that.
Yeah.
Supposedly it's even smarter now.
I know.
And if you want to talk about vaping, that's fine, as long as it's not political. If you want to talk about what you're vaping and what you're enjoying, that's fine, because you're an adult, and saying nice things about flavors is cool. And it would prove that we would have testimonials that said that, adult people, because most of the people that are here are old.
Adultish.
Absolutely. Adults like things that taste good. But we have tons of content that is negative and angry, and I've already called people lying whore tonight several times.
Invite her on.
Who? With the lying whore? Or
sure.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to contact the lying whore. So
nobody that thinks they're important has ever come on, right? People that have been important and are important have come on, but
we've had tons of important people
thinking they're important have never.
We've had tons of people that don't think that they're important come on and talk to.
Yeah, but self-important people have not. They've refused.
No, I'm the only self-important motherfucker in here.
Oh, there you go. See,
it's all me.
Is it all about you?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not the most important person in your own mind,
I'm a legend in my own mind.
I mean, seriously.
You have to be.
Gotta be. Always out for number one.
Yeah.
The wife is a close number two.
Kids are
now. If a chainsaw murderer was chasing us, she would trip my ass so that she could get away. I mean,
excellent. I like her even better now. Already.
But that's okay, because I'm normally armed. So
if you follow the right way, you can.
I can do one of those John Woo Hong Kong action moves and flip around. Is what you're saying? This is the most depressing thing, Kevin. I got a DVD player for myself or Blu-ray player for my office now.
Yeah.
And the first thing is I've been wanting to watch a movie, and I just talked about John Woo. This, excuse me, this is one of my favorite like action movies of all time. It's called Hard Boiled. Now I have it on the streaming service, but it's subtitled. But I have the DVD and it's dubbed. Now, when I'm wanting, if I'm lazily trying to watch a film, I don't want to sit here and read it. I want to listen, even if it's a bad dub. Though I open the damn case, and the DVD is not here. Now I have to go through. There's like 5,000 DVDs in the next room.
It's in the wrong one.
Box by box to figure out which fucking box I put the movie in.
That's because you're important, Patrick. You have to do it yourself.
Well, my enjoyment is important, and I want to watch it, so.
Wow.
I am so extremely frustrated.
Did you see the Dr. Siegel interview, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
But, you know. I mean, Addie, we could talk about music if you would come in here. But since you don't want to wake your wife up. I did look in every DVD player that we have, and it's not in any of those either.
Is it in the DVD player?
No, it's not in. It's not in the new one, obviously, because the new one just got here. It's not in the other one because I was watching Shogun in the other one.
All right.
You remember Shogun, the one of the original miniseries back in the day about shipwrecked Dutch sailors shipwrecked in Japan.
Yep.
In feudal Japan. That was a great movie, by the way.
What was Carradine in? What was that called?
Carradine.
Kung Fu. Was that Kung Fu?
That was Kung Fu. That was
Saturday
a miniseries.
I know it wasn't a miniseries, but it reminded me of it. It's okay. Calm down. I liked that, and I'm not a Kung Fu guy.
See, that show. Speaking of, you're going to bring up Kung Fu. That show was originally developed. Bruce Lee wanted to be in that. He wanted that was like originally developed for him, and the studio drug their feet, and then eventually he went back to Asia to make films. He left the United States, and then they hired a non-Asian guy to play an Asian guy. I mean, I won't say that David Carradine was bad in that movie. I mean, or the TV show, but he was not Bruce Lee.
Well,
definitely not Bruce Lee. No. You see, people, the chat room has died because we're not talking angry. We're not calling people lying whores. I got to go find a lying whore article now to make people more excited because apparently they don't want to talk. They only want to listen to and participate in vaping stuff.
Lying whore stuff.
That I can. Damn, there's the same article repeated 4 different times about King County settling with Juul. I'm not interested in that.
Oh yeah,
not even close.
Yeah, well. Racketeering.
Here we go. This is an article that we can like. Here, let's present this one. While Owl has said he's not home. He's on his way home. Yeah. He might join us when he gets home. This is from April 26th, Kevin.
Yep.
Watchdog group says FDA not following its own research on vaping. Really?
No shit.
No, I gotta rub it. Let's rub it. Not ribbit, rub it. All right. The government watchdog group Protect the Public's Trust filed a complaint with the Department of Health and Human Services over what it says are scientific integrity violations involving the impact of vaping. The complaint states that the US FDA is promoting public health messages on vaping that appear to be unsupported by its own research and scientific findings. Protect the Public's Trust, that's the entire name of the organization, stated the FDA is making scientifically unfounded statements about the vaping industry contrary to its own research, adding the agency's own data appeared to contradict the FDA's public stance on vaping products. Protecting the Public's Trust said an FDA report found only a subset of many harmful compounds found in cigarettes are found in vapes and at much lower levels than those in cigarette smoke.
If at all.
That FDA report found that menthol vapes were helping adult smokers quit cigarettes better than fruit, candy, or traditional tobacco flavors. In the complaint, Protect the Public's Trust stated that FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb presented vaping as comparable to smoking traditional cigarettes because several of the dangerous compounds in tobacco smoke are also present in the aerosol of some vaping products. Now, I am far from complimentary of Dr. Scott Gottlieb, because when he was in the FDA, I remember I called him King Gottlieb because he was making nonsensical stuff. But he was one of the people that constantly used the continuum of risk phrase. I think he was the first person that said it, that I remember saying it. And that, he did own stock in a vaping company at one point. So I'm not sure that that's factual. The FDA didn't respond to an email seeking comment, but the FDA declared that vaping is not harmless. And that's true. It is not harmless. It carries real health risks and safety risks. Now, that's not true, including addiction, which is okay, maybe possibly, and other negative health effects. Can you please show me?
No, you can't.
No, because we've asked repeatedly and nobody has been able to provide us any scientific evidence.
You can elude, because when you have someone showing, for example, you said earlier, show me the advertising. So they pick some dumbass's choice of stealing something from a company like Wrigley as an example. And they go, look, you're advertising to children, but there's no advertising any more than there is any of this. None. I'm on the wrong hand.
So it says here, many studies suggest e-cigarettes and non-combustible tobacco products may be less harmful than combustible cigarettes. However, there is not yet enough evidence to support claims that e-cigarettes and other ends are effective tools for quitting smoking, the FDA stated on its website. What we already know. That's nonsense, because we have plenty of studies that show that vapor technology is far superior and has higher successful quit rates than traditional NRT.
Yes.
Protect the Public's Trust stated there has been a pattern of government not following the science. Protect the Public Trust also claimed in December 2022 that the CDC and failed to track side effects of taking the COVID-19 vaccine. I'm hit or miss on that. I mean, I've had 4 of them and I haven't had any side effects. Once again, it appears that the federal public health leadership has chosen to sacrifice scientific integrity and the public's rapidly disappearing trust on the altar of political and special interest agendas, said Michael Chamberlain, director of Protect the Public Trust, in an email to the Center Square. While we were promised that health officials would follow the science, what we have observed instead is a disturbing trend of ignoring or disregarding scientific research and data that don't fit their particular biases. Now, there's more to this, but it mentions Governor Bruce Jenner over here, and I don't.
Gretchen, oh my girl, Gretchen. Oh,
yeah. Governor Bruce Jenner.
It's awful
I mean,
quiet
I
up
don't
there.
have to do that again, right? Remember when I put side by side pictures of Bruce Jenner and Caitlyn Jenner Caitlyn Jenner and
You don't have to, but you could.
Governor Whitmer side by side, and they looked almost like twin
Mhm.
sisters.
Yeah. Somebody sent me a picture of Nancy similar to yours with horns on her head. The other day. I
Nancy.
forget who it was. Was it you, Mallory?
That was not me.
I think it might have been Mallory.
Nancy Pelosi is beneath.
No,
my...
Nancy Heart Lion Horror Association.
Oh, the scary Pennywise chick. I mean, I could go find that picture. It's on my Facebook, I'm sure, but
you don't need to modify that one at all.
I didn't modify that picture.
I know. Ugh.
I did not. That was an actual PR picture that I stole off of image search on the interwebs.
Interweb or
interwebs, Kevin.
Something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go over here and find it real quick since y'all brought it up. I haven't showed that on screen in a while.
Somebody sent me something with horns on it anyway, or tweeted at me. I don't know if they sent it offhand, but
this one.
Same picture.
This one. Let's share screen.
Right. Hide your children. Send them to bed.
This one.
Oh, Jesus.
Damn, this is from 2019.
I was thinking it was older than that.
This is from July.
Well, look, there's
31st.
Cherry's on that little.
Cherry lies on here. There's a lot of, Troop. Yeah. Troop's not here tonight. I just noticed that.
He's probably sleeping.
This is the head of the American Heart Association.
If
she looks like she could just open her mouth and like chew right through your chest and eat your heart.
Look, Troop's been trolling us all this time. Look at that.
Either that or he just showed up when I mentioned his name. One of the two. He could be like Candyman.
Well, and where is Candyman? Where's he been?
Candyman.
Chocolate.
I haven't seen the remake of that, but the original one, I really dug the original Candyman movie. Just saying.
No.
But Tony Todd, the guy that played Candyman in that movie, has the most awesomest voice for a for like a scary character like that. I mean, he has a really deep voice. And, yeah, he is pretty good.
Yeah. That's all right.
Let's see. Oh, here we go, Kevin. This is since I'm here looking at old pictures on the Smoke Free Radio Facebook. This is an old picture from about the same time as the Nancy picture, because the Nancy picture is included in this. It says, I bet you didn't hear the report from Harvard that admits that vaping helps smokers quit.
I did not.
And this is the Harvard Gazette. This is from July 28th of 2019. Want to quit smoking? Try an e-cigarette. A new study from the Massachusetts General Hospital's Tobacco Research and Treatment Center provides critical population-level evidence demonstrating that using e-cigarettes daily helps U.S. smokers quit smoking.
Can you imagine that?
So, I made this in 2019. Look at that. So there's a Harvard Gazette from East. There's a photograph of the wheelin' and dealin'. There's a picture of the wheelin' and dealin' people. Look at that. There's Matt Myers and Stan and that scary chick and the guy from this is American Lung Association and this is American Cancer. Look at that. Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, USCF, American Heart Association, American Cancer Society, and this is Robert Wood Johnson. Robert Wood Johnson. Look at that. Why did these people hide the truth? See, I used to be on fire, Kevin.
You were.
Like, you see the quality of the amazing material that I provided in 2019?
I do. Now you're just a lying whore.
Yeah. Now I'm just.
So I'm going to present the Victor share screen real quick.
Did you know that
the
Victor
road-
was here a while ago, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the rodent Phil, who I love and adore, I love this little bastard. I can't help myself.
How do you know he's a little bastard, though? He might know who his mother is.
I don't know how tall he is. I digress. So if he's only this big, so from the paper, he must be trolling us somewhere, somehow. Maybe he's listening on Twitter. From the paper, because he tagged us like 20 minutes ago. 11:20 p.m. here, I guess.
He could
from
be,
the paper.
He could be tactical bacon. You never know.
It could be. Is he tactical? Anyway,
he might be.
The rodent.
I don't know.
This guy or girl or him or it or that, he's got like the longest thread ever. By the way, just so you guys know, if you go to him, just for fun, there, look at
you're roboting.
Now I'm bot. Look at that. As soon as I did it, he's got 7,000, more than 7,000 studies in a thread. And I think it's actually a couple threads within the thread of people who smoke are less likely to, and vape, are less likely to be infected or hospitalized with SARS-CoV-2. Did you cut me off?
Yes, because you're going to get my channel kicked off of the fucking YouTube if you talk about that shit.
Yeah. Okay, so smokers are less at risk for things.
You're trying to get my channel yanked because you're talking about that particular thing?
Can you imagine 7,000 things, though, on a thread? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I didn't know where you were going until I started reading ahead. And
I was
like,
just talking about the thread. Not even the content, really.
I gotta stop that before.
Did you see my signed poster and my signed DVD?
Yeah.
Little stickers are what shit.
You can't talk. You can't speak the truth on this. No. What the hell are you trying to do?
Are you censoring me, you lying whore?
I'm not censoring you. I'm preventing us from being censored completely off of YouTube.
Lord.
So speaking of, we brought up Scott Gottlieb, and this is from 2019 as well. So he thought he was going to be poetic. He says some pills are red, some pills are blue. All are safe and effective if they go undergo FDA review.
Sure.
So then I replied back, Chantix blamed for 3,063 serious injuries and 78 deaths. Accutane. If you read the list of awful shit that can happen if you take Accutane, which is a medicine that you take for your skin. It is an anti-acne medicine.
Okay.
And it actually comes with a black box warning. Chantix, even though Chantix is responsible for 3,063 serious injuries and 78 deaths, Accutane has been proven 100% of the time, 100% of the time that a woman is taking it to cause birth defects in any fetuses that are developing in that woman while Accutane is in her body.
I heard about that.
100% of the time. So when you are prescribed this medicine, you actually have to sign a pledge that you will use 2 methods of birth control while you're taking this pill. And it's been approved by the FDA. So you'd think the head of the FDA would have heard of all about the drugs they've approved that kill people.
And just for context, Gottlieb was the one that fast-tracked Chantix onto the market, if you remember. So anyway.
As a rep for Chantix, not as the head of the FDA.
Beforehand.
Yes.
Because he's a swell guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he left the FDA because he wanted to spend more time with his kids.
Well, yeah.
But then he went around and took a job working at Pfizer.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah, I'm just looking for
Rumble.
I'm looking for other amazing pieces of artwork that I have in our
Did
past.
you see what was the guy's name at the e-cigarette? Holman? Was it Matt Holman?
I know Matt Holman, but what are you asking me?
There was an article that he wrote this week.
Oh,
which I couldn't believe.
Was it in a vaping media website?
No, sir, I do not believe. Let me.
Because you know I will not read those.
Yeah, I know. Hold on. Let me see here. I believe.
Uh-oh.
What?
You believe.
Here it is. It is from Forbes.
Oh, well, Forbes is all right. Forbes is an actual real media thing that's well written, and in no way, shape, or form is anyone ever going to say that they are tied to misinformation.
Right.
Yes.
All right, so I'll message it to you specifically. That way you can do it, because my botting thing really isn't.
Your botting is nonsense. I don't like.
I don't think it's me or you. I think it's StreamYard, but there you go. Ding. Cha-ching.
Ba-ding. Where's it at? There's Messenger.
It's right there.
There's Messenger.
It's right there.
I found it. I found
Matthew.
it. Let me
Matthew
pre.
Holman.
Let
I
me
thought he was a
pre-
doctor.
No, he's the vice president of U.S. scientific engagement and regulatory strategies for Philip Morris.
Well, I know that, but I thought.
But he doesn't write with. He doesn't put his credentials behind his name.
I thought he was a doctor, or is a doctor
To
begin with.
He could have a PhD or
There's a Dr. Gottlieb, and Dr. Adams, Jerry, etc.
Well, I mean, Jerry's a gas passer. He's an actual doctor.
He's a gas passer. That's something else.
Yeah, clearing the air for 30 plus million smokers. Matthew R. Holman. I don't care if he works for Philip Morris. We've come a long way in tackling smoking since the 1950s, an era when cigarettes used to be ubiquitous. Wow, there went the lightning again. And according to public health data estimates, over 1 in 5 American males smoked them regularly. Movie icons smoked on the big screen. People smoked in cars, and bosses smoked at the office. I smoked at the office, and I wasn't the boss. We were surrounded by ashtrays everywhere we went, from airplanes to taxi cabs, bars, and restaurants. Smoking was commonplace, but health risks associated with cigarettes were and continue to be severe. In the United States, risks associated with smoking gained increased public attention in 1964 when the Surgeon General added to the cacophony of public health voices speaking against smoking. You notice how I said cacophony properly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Causally, not casually. You have to make sure that because causally and casually mean two different things. Right. Linked it to lung cancer and other dangerous or serious diseases. And yet, smoking remains the number one cause of preventable death in the United States today, according to the CDC public health data for a while. And let's be clear on this, boys and girls. People have not been not smoking for 50 years. So obviously people that smoked for 50 years in the past, they're going to still have smoking related diseases and deaths until
in the future
all of them die.
Right. Including us, possibly. You never know.
Yeah, well, that's true. For a while, there were huge anti-smoking campaigns. Smoking sections turned into no smoking period. But more than 30 million of our friends and family members and neighbors continue to smoke. It's like the world has moved on and forgotten that smoking is still a health crisis. And this is a guy that works for PMI, which is a company that sells a buttload of fucking cigarettes.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Smoking is addictive, and permanently giving up cigarettes may take not only commitment and determination, but a host of personalized strategies. Anyone can quit smoking, and each year, many people will succeed. But pursuing healthier lives may be a tall order, even for the casual smoker who only has one cigarette with their morning coffee, or a social smoker who only lights up when out with friends on weekends. Most smokers report a desire to quit, and there's plenty of help out there, from counseling to online tools and various medications. You can go bird watching, or download an app, or
Swim.
you can watch that girl that we talked about last week's TikTok video where she claims that she's helped thousands of people. Historically, nicotine replacement therapy products, for example, have been found to be safe and effective for smoking cessation, but unsuccessful. Combining nicotine replacement therapy with counseling has found by researchers to more than double the chances, from 0 to 6%. But their combined success rate is still rather disappointing, according to U.S. public health data. While more than half of adult smokers report having made a quit attempt in the past year, less than 1 in 10 succeed in quitting each year.
Less than.
Hey, it's gotten. Look how much money they have to make graphics for their little articles. And what about smokers who don't quit? Some simply don't give up cigarettes because they enjoy the taste, the ritual, the physical act of smoking, or don't want to go without nicotine. I don't know about the fucking taste. I don't know that many people that really truly, once they stopped smoking, I don't think anybody admits that the reason that they smoked was for the flavor of the cigarette.
I did, and I am guilty of smelling my son's Marlboros the other night. Pop that open.
Unsmoked, uncombusted tobacco, like going to a humidor at a cigar shop and just picking up an unlit. Yeah. Oh my God, that is ecstasy.
Aroma. Right.
But
taste not
that's
so
like
much
smelling
anymore.
coffee beans versus drinking coffee. Yeah. They don't. At no point do they actually meet. Right? Now we understand that nicotine, though not benign, is not primarily responsible for tobacco-caused diseases, which kill nearly 500,000 Americans each year, as estimated by the CDC. It's the smoke, specifically the 7,000 plus chemicals released when tobacco is burned. If we remove the smoke, it's possible to dramatically reduce exposure to these harmful chemicals compared to cigarettes. Smoke-free alternatives to cigarettes do exist, and adult smokers who don't quit need to understand their options. Recent decades have seen an innovative move from high-risk combustible products, such as cigarettes, cigars, or pipe tobacco, to smoke-free products such as vapes, heated tobacco products, snus, and oral nicotine pouches, giving our friends, family members, and neighbors who would otherwise continue to smoke better alternatives to continue to smoke. Let's see. The best choice to quit, or better yet, to never begin. Oh, the best choice is to quit, or yet to never begin using tobacco nicotine products. No question, but between all or nothing, there's another option. Quit or die does not work, Kevin. All or nothing is quit or die, right? For those who don't give up smoking, scientifically substantiated alternatives which provide nicotine and aren't risk-free are measurably better than continuing to smoke.
That's it.
For example, that's that harm reduction thing that Ethan was talking about at the beginning of our show.
Choice, yeah.
For example, a 2022 scientific review, which examined recent studies that looked at the use of e-cigarettes to help people stop smoking, found there is high certainty evidence that e-cigarettes with nicotine increase quit rates compared to NRT. Didn't I just say that, Kevin? It's like this guy is reading my mind.
That's what he's doing.
He is watching our shows and stealing our content. In fact, the FDA has reviewed and authorized a number of smoke-free products, deeming them appropriate to promote public health. That's actually appropriate for the protection of public health, due to their ability to decrease smoking while understanding that no tobacco product is risk-free. Tactical Bacon says good weed tastes good. I have never encountered that. That does not mean it doesn't exist. That just means that I have never encountered that. And since I live in Texas, I won't ever encounter that. Clearing up confusion around smoke-free products could create huge benefits for public health. The fact is, FDA authorized innovative smoke-free products do exist, and they have the power to drive real change toward accelerating an end to smoking. More can and should be done to build awareness and accurate understanding of the smoke-free category among our smoker friends, family members, and neighbors, ultimately helping them to leave cigarettes behind for good. And then there's a link for their stuff.
Which
now we do have to realize, Kevin, this is a paid piece.
Is it?
This is a sponsored piece. So if you look right here, it says brand contributor, Philip Morris International, brand voice, paid program. And then every bit of advertisement on this page, is theirs. Philip Morris, all of these ads on this piece. So as well written as it is still a paid piece.
Yeah.
So
from a former FDA.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
No, I don't either.
It doesn't matter to me that Philip Morris used to be run by liars, because those people are dead. Anybody that worked at Philip Morris that perpetuated the lie that 9 out of 10 doctors preferred Philip Morris cigarettes, those guys are dead. Nobody that currently works at Philip Morris was a part of all of that shit in the 70s, 80s, and even 90s.
No, probably not.
Those old fogies are all dead.
Yeah. The old guard.
Now, if I really believed, and I have to start agreeing with the David Gerlitz's opinion, if they really were interested in reducing smoking, they could easily just stop selling cigarettes.
That's correct.
I mean, they set themselves a goal of weaning them. I don't know if it was which company it was anymore, whether it was Philip Morris or whatever. If they really were, setting themselves up for we're going to be out of cigarettes by 2030 or 2040 or whatever year it was. Right. If they were really interested, they could just do it now and say, we're going to stop selling cigarettes today.
But we have an agreement with the United States government and 46.
The agreement between the 46 attorney generals and the cigarette manufacturers was that the governments would not completely ban the sale of cigarettes. But as a cigarette manufacturer, you could voluntarily quit anytime.
Well, yeah, you could. But what are you going to do? Simple supply and demand. That's all. Then there's those pesky little stockholders, that are always looking at the.
Well, now they have this new program and these new regulations in place. It's called ESG.
I don't know
so
what that
used to be fund managers and corporations were required by what they call fiduciary duty.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Is their fiduciary duty to make a profit, that all decisions that they make as a fund manager, if you're an investment fund manager or a head of a company, is that you are making choices that will make your shareholders money.
Right.
Now they have this new thing called ESG. Now, ESG is new government regulations and programs that are designed specifically because of this new move towards responsible management. So ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance.
Oh boy.
Now this new program or this new thing says now if you're a fund manager, you are allowed to make poor investments in companies specifically because they either are doing something good for the environment, they're doing something good for diversity, humanity, and inclusion, social issues,
humanity. All right.
So
is that across the board, everybody?
Right. So these new programs, this is all put together by, this is the Bloomberg Global Elite sort of thing. What's his name? The guy, the Windows guy.
Bill Gates.
Yeah, that guy. So technically, now that this is in place, this ESG is in place, your company could qualify for this ESG stuff if you're saying, well, we're making the choice to no longer sell cigarettes.
Yeah.
Because it is irresponsible socially under the S of ESG.
Politicians are exempt, right?
No, they want to make money. But they also now, because of the social, again, I don't want to get hate mail, but
right,
the diversity issue, like that is now completely part of this whole thing. Is we want to hire a half gay, half Filipino. Well, not half gay, like a gay, half black, half Filipino,
right.
Trans person, even though they're not the most qualified. But for this, we're starting all these diversity programs, all of these things, and we know it's not going to make money, but we're doing it anyway because it makes our company look better.
Right.
So the tobacco companies could qualify for this by just saying it is socially irresponsible for us to continue to sell tobacco cigarettes. We're moving to these harm reduction products, nicotine pouches, heat not burns, blah, 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 and go on.
Yeah.
And I did see what you said earlier about Rumble, Bastard. This platform that we use does not go to Rumble, or I would have already added Rumble. But there are people now, like Russell Brand, for example. He does like a 4-hour show or a 3-hour show, or he does a show every day. And he starts on YouTube, and he starts on Rumble and YouTube at the same time. After 20 minutes, he turns off the YouTube broadcast and only broadcasts on Rumble. But he also gets a big fucking check from Rumble for doing it. Yeah.
Invite him on.
Russell Brand, I would love to. I watch his show. I'm subscribed to him on Rumble.
I've seen him on this and that. I've never really watched anything.
I mean, he's
pretty sharp.
Oh yeah, no, he's and he doesn't care. Like, he will say whatever the fuck he wants, and he doesn't care. Yeah. And I don't believe that talking about Tucker Carlson on here will get us banned. I have no interest. I mean, Tucker Carlson, I don't find him entertaining.
Is worse than us.
I mean, I know lots of people that like his show. Like, more people, like, there are people that only watch Fox News because he was on Fox News, and they fired him this week. So I predict Fox News is going to lose big time on that deal. And what's the other guy from CNN that got fired too?
Cuomo?
No, he's already been fired.
The
gay guy, the black gay guy. I
don't know.
Don Lemon.
I don't watch TV hardly at all.
Yeah, Don Lemon, and he's like an ultra lefty on CNN. He got fired from CNN, and Tucker Carlson got fired at the same time or on the same day.
I watch very little TV.
Yeah.
I just gave up my home phone like a year ago, so calm down.
Oh, dear God.
I'm one of the last holdouts, I'm sure.
A landline?
I actually told, who is it? What are they now? Spectrum, to kiss my ass, pretty much. And then they sent a representative out to my door like 2 weeks later, asking what the problem might be. he had about 10 minutes of an earful, and then he left.
See, the funny thing is that Tucker Carlson was their flagship. Like he was their top paid person, contributor on that network.
He's the guy. I've seen hundreds of clips.
His show ended on Friday. Like,
did he do something bad?
Well, the thing is like he ended his show normally, like, I'll see you on Monday.
Right.
And sometime during the weekend he got fired. They didn't even give him a farewell show. They just said, don't come back. Here's your shit.
You're done. Okay.
We packed up your office. You're gone.
I was just wondering. I don't care, but
so the thing is if he's smart, which I don't believe he's stupid, he will sign a deal with Rumble or with what's the Daily Caller? Is it? What's the little guy's name? Shapiro, like Ben Shapiro or something. But the problem with these with these conservative talking heads is that they're idiots. Like Steven Crowder, just a video of him. He's the guy that goes around with the sign that says, I believe this, prove me wrong. Like he's an ultra conservative person, like personality. Like his wife just recorded video of him verbally abusing her and treating her like shit.
Oh, well, see.
That like it's been leaked onto the interwebs now. So
he's a lying whore.
So, and Mallory makes a point. Mallory says when you get that was a settlement though. Nobody, so they agreed to pay $700 million or whatever the ultimate was, but it was it's a settlement. So nobody admitted guilt. They just said, shut up, here's $700 million, go away. And if you think Rupert Murdoch cares about $700 million, that's not even any. I mean, that's nothing. Tucker Carlson probably brings in more than $1 billion to Fox News in advertisements and stuff per year. Like if he's smart, he will make a deal. He'll make a Joe Rogan deal with somebody, with some company or agency, or he'll start his own, and he will kick ass. So is there? Oh, the hoist the flags are still available. Owl Andrew just posted links for the hoist the flag vape band in the chat. I didn't know that there were still any of them in existence.
Thank you, Owl, for not putting Patrick's picture on here. Can't get it to focus. What?
Oh. So Phil, did you see that Phil just tagged us in a tweet?
No. Oh yeah, that's what I showed you.
He's indeed listening to us.
And that's what I told you, Goofy.
Hashtag prevaricating trollop.
Pay attention.
So,
or is this another tweet?
Somebody asked about trying to add the word trollop. Let's get Shakespearean on my tweet. And he says, I'm working on the mega thread, the one that's trying to get us kicked off of YouTube.
Oh, Addie said
it saddens me. It saddens me that Kevin is not even smart enough to figure out that if you say anything about that particular topic on YouTube, you're going to lose your channel.
I don't.
There are still people that are getting their channels blocked, even though they have scientific data.
Jesus Christ.
For being spreaders of misinformation.
I'm giving regular old information. And
somebody,
thank you, Phil.
No. Somebody lost their fucking YouTube channel for sharing the anti-mask science.
I know.
That has been admitted now, that they're openly admitting. People are still losing their channels.
I believe, Phil,
for widely accepted scientific data.
If you're listening, Phil, you don't need the camera. You could just put a picture of your picture that you have on Twitter, and you should come on here one night.
There's actually a way that you can actually make yourself a talking emoji.
I do that all the time.
I actually know somebody that has a YouTube channel that never shows their real face, but they have a cartoon character face.
Yeah.
That when they talk, the lips of the cartoon character move. So we could pay to create Phil an avatar of a rodent that speaks that he could come on and talk. But we'd have to first find somebody to sponsor us to pay for the animated thing.
Not only do I adore him, I would love to have him on. Him and Alan. Just those. We've had Bruni.
Oh, Alan's afraid of us, though.
I know. You scare him, you bastard. No offense,
just because
bastard.
I said lying whore on the show. Now he won't come on because I said lying whore.
But Phil's listening to us. Look at that, huh?
Well, I think that Phil would actually say lying whore.
He probably would. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I've seen some of his tweets. I think that he probably wouldn't be offended with lying whore. He might be offended by lying horse, but not by hearing the phrase lying horse.
Right. That thread that shall remain unmentioned of the topic is pretty mega. So yeah, he's got to have the world record of threads. That's all I was saying earlier. Anyway.
Oh, here you go, Kevin.
What? For fuck's sake! Did you? Can you guys imagine if Al would have put Patrick's ugly ass on there instead of this? Look at that.
I don't want my face on there, but here, let's.
Oh yeah,
let's present this. I bet you $10 this one will get your goat.
I don't have a goat.
I for a second there thought for a minute you were going to call your wife. Never mind. No, vapes are not 95% less harmful than e-cigarettes. This was how decades-old myth was born.
That's right. They're 99.
So let's see what this lying whore says. 20 Harlem Shake is on the radio. In 2014, a paper detailing the findings of this meeting, the authors rated electronic cigarette delivery systems at only 4% of the maximum relative harms of cigarettes. Critically, they are understanding very early stage, and they lacked hard evidence of the harmfulness of most products in relation to most of the criteria they examined. In other words, they found that their work was methodically weak and their estimates were just that, conjectures based on their opinions rather than scientific evidence. Estimates has become the world's most widely cited misinformation about vaping. E-cigarettes are 95% less harmful than tobacco cigarettes. Trouble is, it's wrong how the estimate took off. Public Health England used the 95% figure in its 2015 review of e-cigarettes, but did not mention the limitations of the estimate. This has led to widespread criticism from experts. An editorial in the medical journal The Lancet called the 2014 paper an extraordinary weak basis on which to base the main conclusion of the Public Health England review. The Lancet editors note that Public Health England used the estimate even though it was based on the opinions of a small group of people with no stated expertise in tobacco control and almost complete lack of evidence. The 2015 editorial also raised concerns about conflicts of interest, noting that some researchers involved in developing the estimate had ties to big tobacco. Okay, wait. So up here, the one criticism is they have no stated expertise in tobacco control. Now down here it says they have ties to big tobacco. These conflicts were further detailed in September and November in the British Medical Journal. Despite this, the 95% figure remained in Public Health England communications. It had also spread to e-cigarette advertisement. By 2020, the estimate had become a factoid, unreliable information repeated enough times to be accepted as fact, But 7 years later, with the mounting evidence of harm associated with e-cigarette use, the factoid was even less valid. As used in Australia, industry and allies have been so effective in publicizing this scientific conjecture that it continues to be used to undermine Australia's public health policy. In contributors to the 2020 Australian Senate inquiry into tobacco harm reduction, industry bodies and allies drew heavily on the fact that their argument for legalization e-cigarettes. And we watched all those hearings. We watched those. Why does it? We actually had Senator Holly Hughes on this show from those hearings. Why does it matter? Although this fact has been debunked, no, it hasn't. It continues to influence people's thinking, misinformation. Researchers prefer this as the persistent influence effect. Once established, it's notoriously difficult to remove. It circulates in the media as digestible, attention-grabbing statistic and is repeated again and again. And because we're more likely to believe false information when it's been repeated many times, the illusory truth effect and misinformation becomes truth. All right. So,
gee, Patrick, if I took the top of that page and then I put literally anything that Glance has written and I just replaced the word, what is it, 95%?
Yeah.
I could write a Glance Lives, copy and paste, add my own words and be done. Literally. Because that's exactly what they do. And now they don't like that it's being done.
Oh. That's not what I wanted.
Did that say decades?
I wanted to see if this Laura Coffee person...
Decades.
Does this Laura Coffee person have a tweet?
I don't know. Decades old, though. It's not even been a decade yet. Quite. Goofy.
Yeah. I thought you would love that.
Yeah,
Let me see if I can find this chick on Twitter. I'm going to find this chick on Twitter.
Well, at least you're not calling her a lying whore. That's good.
Well, not yet.
Give me a tweeting minute. They didn't prove them wrong, though. May, could, might. And if I recall, I don't remember who. I want to say it was Dr. Pelosa said they used the 95% conservatively because it's probably much higher. So there's that.
Well, I can't find.
I think it was.
I found there's several Laura Coffees, but I can't find anywhere where she's retweeted that particular article.
You could paste the article in if you want.
And I don't want to attack the wrong one.
No, you don't. No.
That would be rude.
That would be rude.
And I don't want people thinking that I'm some sort of asshole. Especially some lying whore.
Well, I try to keep them from thinking that. But...
I got to find the real lying whore.
Yeah.
Before I attack. I will look later. So, I put the link in the chat room for anybody that wanted to come in here and hang out with us, Kevin. And nobody wants to come hang out with us.
Yeah.
That hurts my feelings.
That's what feelings are for, Patrick. That's what feelings are for, sir.
That's sad. I might cry.
Why is my freaking camera blurry? Good, I'll go to bed early.
I know. Last week we did like 5 hours. I don't know about that for sure.
I'm real happy. I'm possibly giving you notice for next Friday. I'm thinking it'll be Thursday that I'm driving south, and I should be back. I should.
South.
I'm going south from here.
How far south?
Well, about 4 hours. So, well, maybe 3.
You can drive 3 hours and back. That's no big deal.
That doesn't mean I want to come back that quick. I can. Most of that depends on Janice, really. So,
Are you going to go see a girlfriend or something? I mean,
yeah, I'm going to take Janice with me to go see my girlfriend. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I wouldn't put it past you. I mean, I'm just.
Maybe I'm going to go see her boyfriend.
You are from Ohio.
Oh my God. So there's that. Just in case. That way you can't say, well, you never told me, because I'm telling you. And more than likely I'll be back. May, could, might. But just in case.
Fine. I am on vacation next week. I could tell you guys to all go fuck yourselves and I could hang out with my loving wife.
She doesn't like you, Patrick. Why is my camera doing this?
Because you're blurry. Your camera has beer goggles on.
That's what it is. Now I'm much better looking. I did that focus thing earlier. Maybe that's what it is.
It's focusing on your hands now. You have to be really close and
then.
Yeah. That's see. There you go. That's in focus.
Weird.
You turn off your autofocus, dumbass.
I don't know how to do that.
You had to turn it on.
Is that on our settings?
Not in this. That's in the camera settings on the app that manages your camera.
Oh, I have no idea.
You're such a boomer.
Look, it took me 15 minutes to figure out how to hook up the Victor share screen. Not really, but I was like, what am I doing?
I actually had to take the second. I had to take the second computer apart.
Did you?
Because my wife is. So here, this is funny. My wife is applying to go back to school to be a nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
So she's applying to schools and she has to send her transcripts from going to nursing school in the Philippines. And she's been here in the United States since 2006. She's a U.S. citizen. She's been a U.S. citizen since she was here 5 years. So 2012, she became a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
And for some reason, because she went to school in another country, she is required to take a $400 test that proves that she can speak English.
Oh, wow. What kind of bureaucratic bullshit is that?
And I was like, what?
They can't understand her?
It is listed as a requirement for application to the school for foreign-born students, even ones that have been living in the United States for 20 years or nearly 20 years and working in a hospital setting in this country since 20. I'm like,
wow.
You know, that's pretty fucking racist is what that is.
Wow. That's extremely discriminatory.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some of the schools require this and other schools require that. And this is a school it's Texas A&M. So it's a reputable, actual good school. It's not one of those internet schools.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
I was like, damn.
I wouldn't mind the test so much as I would the $400. But the test should include me coming up saying, I have to prove that I speak English, and now I'm speaking English. Should I really be concerned about having to take this test?
It's a 5-hour test, too.
Oh, my God. Why? Because you think they're going to slip up after 4.5?
They have 4 sections of this test. One is like reading comprehension. You read something and then answer questions. So Addie says, what the fuck, a 5-minute interview can find that out. When she became a U.S. citizen, I am not joking. Like, we had to go through all the process of filling out applications. Once her application was approved, then we had to go to San Antonio, which is an hour to almost a 2-hour drive, to the federal building, so that she could be fingerprinted and they could do what they called bio stuff. They weighed her, they took her measurements or whatever, biometrics.
Oh my God.
Then they gave her a booklet and a CD that you could listen to that had like questions about America. She studied and memorized all of that stuff about America. She's also a great, huge fan of the American Constitution.
She learned to call you king, right?
That's true. She does call me your Lord and Master. But
That's bastard.
then she
not
had
master.
to go back. Then she had to go back for the test.
Okay.
So the test, you have to go. The guy got her in from the waiting room because I wasn't allowed to go up the elevator. Took her up, and she was back down and had passed the English proof, the history test, because it's basically they ask you 10 questions, and if you get 7 of them right, then you pass.
Okay.
That is the proof that you understand English, as well as the proof that you understand American history, that you've studied the little booklet or whatever. And they did that in less than I'm not exaggerating, and Addie is right. 5-minute test, 5-minute interview could find that out.
That's what I would assume. Yeah.
So that for the American government to get her U.S. citizenship, that's
Wouldn't
what she
that
had to
be
do.
enough?
She went up the elevator and was back in 5 minutes. But now this school, Texas A&M, is requiring her to take this TOEFL exam. It's 4 sections. There's 2 sections that are multiple choice questions, where one section of the test is you read paragraphs and answer multiple choice questions about the paragraphs.
That's
the second is you're listening to audio conversations or audio lectures or whatever. Then you will answer questions about that. Then there is a spoken, so you have to be set up with a computer with a cam and a microphone and all that shit. Because it's all, you could go to a testing center. They only offer this test once a month, or you could take it any day of your choosing at home over the internet. But there is a live person sitting in their computer watching you take the test.
Let me ask you a question. Can you understand her when she calls you an asshole?
Yes.
Then I don't see a point in
But she
having
never
this.
calls me an asshole.
Patrick, you don't have.
She
to
doesn't
lie.
actually, because she knows it. Like she doesn't cuss.
Yeah.
So when if we are having an argument and it looks like that I'm winning,
is it gringo?
She will purposefully say a curse word.
Mm-hmm.
Because it sounds so funny with her accent that when she says a curse word, I start laughing.
So she doesn't do it.
So
I know,
she's a good Catholic girl. She doesn't curse.
Why are they putting her through a hardship of 4 hours? I don't understand.
Because the test is that long.
I don't understand.
So anyway,
I can tell
there are reading comprehension questions. You have to read a thing, and then there's listening comprehension. Then the spoken part is
she's a nurse.
Doesn't matter. 4 things. So the
fucking word.
Let me keep talking here. So the first part is they will ask you one question about something, and you are supposed to formulate an opinion, and you're given 45 seconds to prepare your response, and then you have to speak for 1 minute expressing your opinion on that topic that they just asked you to.
Wow.
So then the next section is a written. You read a paragraph, and then you given 45 seconds to respond verbally. You have a 1 minute response time, 45 seconds of prep time to come up with stuff to talk for 1 minute about, whatever that paragraph was. Then there's a section where there's an audio clip that you listen to, and it'll ask you to speak for 1 minute about that audio clip. And then the last section is audio and video, and you have to take facts from the audio and the written paragraph. Sorry, they don't all. So she's allowed to have a dry erase board and make notes, and then speak for 1 minute about that. I'm like, so it's actually only 4 minutes of talking.
Yeah.
Right? I could talk for 1 minute on anything.
Well, not that we want you to.
But I'm just like, shit. They're charging, and it's like I said, and then the last part of the test is an essay.
It pisses me off.
Just right, 250 words. 250 words about something. about the topic that they asked her to talk about.
This is not acceptable. Generally, this is just not acceptable. She's a nurse in a United States hospital or conglomerate or whatever it is.
Now, let's be clear on this, Kevin.
She's a U.S. citizen.
And not saying that but just because she's a nurse doesn't mean that she's smart.
Well,
now, my wife is smart, but just being a nurse doesn't mean that you're very intelligent or anything. There are some nurses that I know they're dumb as rocks, but they can pass a test. That's all it takes to get your nursing exam. So
this is degrading to me.
I know. I was like, you want me to call the school and ask if they're racist because
this pisses me off.
They only make the foreign students. I mean, I know some pretty stupid American people that probably can't form perfect, good sentences and have poor reading comprehension.
This is 4 hours of her life, $400.
Yeah,
it's $100 a
well, I mean, my wife makes pretty damn.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. She could be a gazillionaire.
That's a half day's work for her.
Well, she could be a gazillionaire for all I care. This is unacceptable. It's not. Why is this program in place to go to school? I thought this was America. What is this about?
It is America.
I don't understand.
That's
a dictatorship to me.
They're the ones that require. I mean, they're the school.
How did they come up with this? I don't get it.
They didn't come up with this. There's another company that came up with this test, and it's usually provided for students coming to America that are not English as a first language. But the Philippines should not be on that list because English is their official legal language.
Oh, it is there. Oh, okay. I was going to say, what is the actual language from where she's from? And that just answered the question.
They have their national spoken language, which is Tagalog. But for all of their legal and governmental and all that stuff, it is all done in English.
I have met, and I've met a couple of people in my day, as you have, in the walk of life, and I've met people from all kinds of walks and races of life, and some of the best people I have ever tried not to understand and understood very well, or not. I didn't say that right. Tried hard to understand, but understood them better than I thought. Were a couple of Pakistani brothers that drove cab. Those guys could talk as well as we can.
Well,
really,
I mean,
with an accent, but man,
Pakistan and India. I mean, obviously, India used to be a British colony.
Yeah, heavy accent, but you could understand them.
Some of them have fucking British accents, which really throws you because when you bump into one and they're like, sound like James Bond, you're like, what the. Aren't you supposed to sound like Apu? I mean,
all I know is I could understand.
You know they banished Apu off of the Simpsons, right?
No, I don't watch Simpsons either. But what difference?
Apu is no longer on the Simpsons because he's a caricature and he's Indian.
Oh yeah, I do. I think I do know who.
And Hank Azaria did the voice. So he was the convenience store owner.
Yeah, he's in memes. Yeah.
But yeah, they took him off the show because he was not actually played by an actual Indian or Pakistani man.
Oh, fucking word.
It's like now it's racist.
Oh my God.
For an actor.
We've gone too far, literally.
So Robert Downey Jr. did a movie called Tropical Thunder, right? Tropic Thunder.
I agree. I don't know.
And in that character, in that movie, he played a white actor.
Yeah.
Who was playing a black character.
Yeah.
Now that movie was only made 15 years ago.
Soul Man.
And there is no fucking way that they could make that movie now. Plus, like, it's a very popular movie, even now. And they interviewed him and asked him if he would apologize for playing that.
Oh, for Christ's sake. So call C. Thomas Howell for Soul Man, right? And call
You're like one of the only 5 people in the world that would remember
6.
that movie.
There was a group of 6 of us.
I mean, and the name C. Thomas Howell. Like you're like,
God,
like he is nobody now. Nobody remembers who he is. I mean, I remember him as Pony Boy from The Outsiders.
I don't know why.
And he was in Red Dawn. But anyway, here.
He was.
Look at Andrew.
Hey, how is it?
Are you
Andrew,
directly from the tree itself?
He ran to get here before we ended the show because he wants to talk about AI.
Oh.
No, I didn't want to talk about AI. I was just wondering what you would talk about if I said AI. I've had arguments about AI. I don't want to have tonight.
Are you talking about like AI in what context? I mean, everybody's using this Chat GPT thing, which is, and there are artists. I mean, there's like an art version of art AI that's out now that artists are complaining about because you can actually type in what you want the painting or the picture to look like in the style of, and it will make like, so if you're a comic book artist, for example, and some person says, I want, a picture of, my superhero character, if I'm an independent creator or independent comic book publisher or whatever, done in the style of Jim Lee or Frank Miller or any number of famous comic book artists, and it will generate what you ask it to generate. It will find examples of those artists that are on the internet and create the picture and it will look like that artist did it.
Wow.
Now those artists are freaking out and are angry that their work is being used in this context, and that people are going to were actually thinking about publishing, stealing their style, for example, because these artists have their own style.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, could be bad. I mean, obviously, I'm always afraid of the Terminator from happening and Skynet from occurring. Are you tripping over there? Are you?
I'm listening to you. I just
You were staring at the visualization over there with your hands going ooh.
Boom, boom,
No,
boom.
because then something popped up on the screen. I couldn't get it to go away.
Did you take some
Too many
psilocybin before you
fingers.
came on?
No.
I can't remember who I was talking to this week on Twitter, and I said something about psilocybin, and they're like, "Oh my God, you know about psilocybin?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Arrogantly, he said. Oh, yeah.
It's very popular these days.
I didn't know what it was.
I'm an old fuddy-duddy, and I know what psilocybin is. I mean, we've talked about it ad nauseum on our show. Charlie came on and was like, psilocybin, and I'm like, yeah, psilocybin. There's actually a really good documentary on mushrooms on Netflix that people should watch.
I heard about that.
Rabbit.
It's quite cool. It's quite cool.
So now we're going to talk about psychedelics.
Well, we could.
Next
What
week's
do you
show.
want?
Next week's
what
show.
What have you been doing?
Me.
We haven't talked to you in a while.
I know it's been a long time. I don't even know if I've talked to you from this location. So
I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, well, it's not a small room anymore. So thank God it's a much bigger space.
Did you kick a kid out of your house like Kevin did?
Yeah, both my kids are in college. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin kicked out 2 kids just so he could have a room and to do a broadcast.
Do you have a naked room? You have a naked room now, Kevin?
I could, Janice is just.
You don't have to answer that.
Way more.
That was a good movie, The Naked Room. Everybody has to have a naked room.
They should.
Every room in my house is a naked room, if I want it to be.
It's a thing.
More than we need to know.
I could be naked from here down and you wouldn't even know it because you only can see my, you know. I could have one of those Dickie shirts that's just, you know.
It could be just a green screen. You're wearing you've painted yourself green and you've got a t-shirt on and everything.
You just walking around dancing.
Could be.
That skin.
Demi never wears
the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again.
My headphones are going in and out.
So, but bless you.
Excuse me.
Click, click.
Yeah, block that out. Sorry, as much as I could.
So, what have you been doing?
Well, I moved in August to Long Island, so I've been out here for most of the winter, at least. All of the winter.
Were you in like Valley Stream or?
Actually, I was just in Valley Stream when I left to get home, but my friend lives in Valley Stream, and
I have lots of friends that live in Valley Stream.
Do you really?
Yeah,
it's a nice town.
Kevin's surprised that I have friends. I actually this tattoo up here, I got in Valley Stream at Reggie Tats. That's the name of the artist that did it. He does.
What were you doing in Valley Stream?
I have friends. I used to live up.
He doesn't have any friends.
I used to live up north. I have spent lots of times in the city. The city. I've been on the LIE, gone over the Verrazano and Gothel's bridges from the Jersey Turnpike many times to get to.
Well, you've gotten around. I can't believe you've been to Valley Stream though. It's funny. It's just an odd place to have stopped and been, and then to get a tattoo. And I mean, that's
no. I was in Valley Stream visiting my friends.
I still wouldn't. I wouldn't even get a tattoo in Valley Stream today. You know, like if I'm gonna get a tattoo, which I'm not getting, it wouldn't be like, oh, let's check and see if there's a good one in Valley Stream. Like, yeah, a rusty nail maybe and a needle.
So the reviews are low.
No, I just, my friend says that there's a great barber there, but he will never give me the guy. Every time I'm like, listen, I need that barber. He says to me, hold on a second. And he never gives me the name of the barber. So I never, there's a great barber. I bet he's the tattoo artist too. I bet he does.
Well, there was a rap group in the late 90s, early aughts called G Unit. And Reggie was G Unit's tattoo artist. They were a group of 50 Cent entourage people.
What is the tattoo of?
It's like a tribal hurricane pattern. It was for Hurricane Katrina.
Okay.
Because I had people die in Hurricane Katrina, so I wanted to memorialize without actually putting their names and faces on my own.
Yeah,
you can't be buried in the proper cemetery though if you get a tattoo.
I can't. I have to have my arm dismembered or take it off.
So that's a question. So Holocaust survivors, how do they?
That's okay. That's passable.
Okay, all right. Because that wasn't their fault.
That was more like, that wasn't really tattooing. I mean, it was more.
I mean,
like
I've seen some of them. They look like tattoos to me.
I know, but it's still not like
Yeah, but it wasn't like their choice either.
No.
So, but
I mean, it wouldn't be acceptable to get one in remembrance of the Holocaust. That would be weird.
No, I mean, obviously, it's haram. Whether it's forbidden. Whether
it is.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So, one way or the other.
Even if it's kosher.
Yeah, you can't have like Hebrew national hot dogs tattooed to your arm.
No. But I've seen art supplies, maybe not particularly tattoo ink, like labeled as kosher. Because some old inks are actually from.
Gotta be. It's like vegetable glycerin. It's gonna be. Well, octopus, is that kosher? It's not really a.
Well, if it's
It's
butchered,
not a seafood. Is it? It's not considered seafood. I guess
well,
it is.
yeah.
It's
But
not
I've seen things.
crustacean.
They're like
It's not
labeled
really.
organic. It's not a crustacean.
I know it's not. So most seafoods are crustacean. So that's why it's not seafood. It's like I don't even know what you call it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I've seen that label on lots of things, the products that most people, would not, most Hebrew people, most Jewish people would not use, or some would not use. Yeah.
Is that what we're calling us now?
Well, if I say Jews, sometimes people get the wrong idea.
Well, they say Jews on all the time.
Well, I'm trying to be politically correct, and not hurt anybody's feelings.
It's one thing to single out that. I think if you said the Jew or something, then that would be like more. I argued with somebody the other day.
Or I was haggling with somebody, but I was using a different word for haggling.
I was arguing the other day about this guy says, I said shalom or something like that, or he said shalom and I said shalom, and he said shalom alaikum. I said, what the fuck? What is shalom alaikum? I said, that's a mixture of two cultures. What are you fucking talking about?
They're trying to be inclusive with that. They're trying to.
Yeah, all inclusive. And he sat there, literally sat there for fucking 25 minutes, rattling off all of this shit about the fact that he was right about the shalom alaikum. I was like, dude, I don't even know. I know you're Jewish, but I know I'm Jewish, and I've never heard the term shalom alaikum. Ever.
No.
I don't even think most people that even weren't Jews, they would know too.
Yeah.
Very
I always
strange.
like it when I hear people, salam alaikum, or I always
It's
like
wrong.
it when I but that's how like the Nation of Islam says it. And I'm like, I understand that they're not practitioners of the real true belief in Islam. I mean, they're a bastardization of it, but you could at least pronounce it properly. I mean, what it means is actually pretty okay. Just,
Listen, I think it's fine to pronounce things properly, but I don't think I don't like the fact that people pronounce things in the languages sounding dialect when they pronounce certain words, like when you go out for food, like Mexican food, and I'll have the chili, like my headphones just went out. Sorry. I'll have the chicken lejos or something. They start pronouncing the words.
Well,
and
here
shit,
I live in South
in the
Texas.
Mexican accents.
So I live in South Texas, and I work with.
Yeah, but you won't catch me going in and saying, "I'll get me some ribs, please." I'm not gonna.
No,
shalom alaikum. Send me some ribs, man.
You're
and
bringing
a T-bone.
You're bringing up something that I experience on a daily basis. I work with people that are of, Hispanic or Latino descent that don't speak Spanish, right?
Sure, but you don't speak English to them.
But when they order, for example, avocado at a Mexican restaurant, we'll be sitting there and they'll say, "Oh, can I get some aguacate?"
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
And but they don't speak any Spanish other than.
That's wrong.
Yeah,
that's wrong. That's like me going in. And I'm Jewish, but I'm not Hasidic. And I go in and I order a pastrami sandwich in an accent, hey, let me have a pastrami sandwich, hi. But I mean, that's not my accent, but that's the way people would order that for, let me get two specials and a pastrami sandwich.
It's like,
and shalom alaikum.
Wow.
People are just weird. People are just weird, and people now have this sort of desire to feel like they're trying. They're over trying now to not hurt people's feelings. Like I was, they're walking around on eggshells now because they're afraid if anything they say could be considered offensive, that they could be canceled.
Yeah. This world has come down to like
everybody has either everyone is turned into like spineless, everything is going to hurt my feelings, or everybody's afraid of hurting somebody else's feelings.
Pretty much.
So
that's what feelings are for.
The fragility level has just is pegged on the red now. Like it's
Yeah.
And that's just come from an entire generation of like participation trophies and kids not getting corrected by their parents in a corporal way,
Nobody listens to Archie Bunker and George Carlin or Red Fox anymore.
George Carlin could not exist today. Like he
I
miss that man. Way missing.
There's no way
notice
in
that
hell.
like his video, even his videos on YouTube are in such bad shape. They're almost like they just gonna sooner or later, you like in 10 years, you're gonna go look up George Carlin. It's just gonna be snow.
Yeah,
they'll just wash him out like he didn't exist.
Yeah. And so are you familiar with Kevin Smith, the movie he's a movie director from Red Bank. He did Clerks and
I think I know
Jay and Silent Bob and Dogma and Chasing Amy. So
Mallory.
George Carlin was in I think 2 of his movies.
Okay.
So Kevin Smith has become so pussified, like he is such a wimp now, and like anything that disagrees with him is you're a racist or a homophobe or whatever. Like, but I'm like, George Carlin was in 2 of your movies, and if he saw you today, there's no fucking way he could he would ever agree to be, like you claim that he's your hero, but he would never work with you now. But he's so soft-cocked now that he won't even like defend himself. Like he's afraid of offending anybody. Like I'm just like, what the? I used to like your movies. Now I can't stand you.
Carlin is one of my heroes.
Yeah, I mean, like Lenny Bruce.
Yes, same thing.
There's no fucking way Lenny Bruce could exist today.
Bill Hicks.
Like Red Fox. Like if you ever listen to old Red Fox records, there's no fucking way that you could ever he would never exist now. He's like, these are legends of comedy that could never exist now.
Because they speak too much truth.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle. I'm surprised Dave Chappelle can still get a comedy special on Netflix now.
Yeah.
Because he made a joke about like a friend of his that was a transvestite. Transsexual.
Richard Pryor,
yeah, I know, but they've gotten all of them have a free ride now that the other guy smacked the other guy. Once the smack happened, they're all back in business. It's like he almost like regentrified their careers.
And Chris Rock is now being sued by the guy that smacked him.
What?
Really, for the comedy routine?
Because Chris Rock makes a joke. Will Smith jumps on stage, smacks him in the face, and says, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth."
And then he puts his mouth.
Then Chris Rock is silent for like a year. Then goes on a comedy tour, gets his material down, does a live show on Netflix, and now Will Smith is suing him.
Oh, that's funny.
For talking about it and making fun of it.
Some of the best comedy out there. We needed to hear this.
But yeah, so like,
wow.
I mean, everybody already knows that Jada Pinkett Smith was having sexual relations with one of her teenage son's friends.
So she was like a truthful whore.
Didn't he interview her about that?
She interviewed him
Yeah.
on her Facebook show about that.
Chris explained it pretty well.
So, and I'm like, how can you? I mean, I'm not Will Smith, and like, if Will Smith walked into the house, he could knock my ass out because, like,
Yeah, sure.
I'm not Will Smith.
Unless you shoot him, you know.
Well, that's true, but then then we get into a whole different problem there. But no, he's in my house. It doesn't matter. I can still.
What's her name? We're not allowed to say Jada.
Jada Pinkett Smith. I'll say her name. But so I just think it's hilarious that some attorney filed legal papers.
Is he that
filing
broke?
a lawsuit because he made fun of it. He made fun of the situation in his comedy show, and it was because he called him a cuckold because his wife was fucking a teenage boy.
You know what George Carlin would say?
I mean, there's no way in hell if my wife was cheating on me that I would be on Facebook Live being interviewed by her talking about my feelings.
I hope they televise this court routine. I really do. How great would it be? Like, there's just like, all hell breaks loose, and
right,
the Jada and the kids and everybody starts fighting and smacking everybody around. The next thing you know, like all 5 of them are in prison.
I think it'd be hilarious just for the fact that they did the Johnny Hurt, Johnny Depp Amber Heard lawsuit where it came out that she took a dump on his pillow in his bed.
That's shitty.
Did you not hear about that during the Johnny Depp lawsuit against his ex-wife?
Oh,
they had a fight and she took a dump on his pillow in the bed.
Well, this show has turned for the worse. Yes, she did. That's what
this is how far society has fallen.
Yeah.
Not only did it happen but it was brought up in actual legal proceedings and televised all over the world.
Because can't get enough of that.
Raj is like, well, we did talk about Ethan Nadelman earlier. Yes, we did have good content at the beginning. Now we just evolved into trying to be like not. If we talk about the vaping stuff all the time, I will continue to regress into more insane levels. It's fun to talk about something other than that periodically.
Well, I wish Jada and Will.
Are you still? Do you still have any clusterfuck vape bans, or did you sell out?
Yeah,
of those?
they're on the website. Sell out. Yeah, thousands of them.
I thought I checked it at one point, and all of that stuff was sold out.
It's all back up. When I moved it on.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, buy clusterfuck vape bands.
I don't think anybody's bought your wristbands because I know they're in.
I think I have all of them that you've mailed out.
There's more.
That you've mailed out. I have all of them.
Oh, okay.
No. I think somebody in New Zealand didn't. Isn't there a picture of somebody?
Yeah, somebody did. Yeah, I think
Mark
has one. Maybe somebody did. They've been,
that's sad. Nobody loves us. Nobody wanted one. Nobody wanted to support the show.
I thought
I did sell some T-shirts though, not a bunch, but I did sell some.
I think I should sue you, Patrick, for saying you have friends because you're.
It happens.
Trying to include me in that circle.
Well, no, I didn't say you.
Oh, all right. Cancel the attorney.
Never mind. I would have there's one particular attorney that you can hire.
Okay.
I don't think he's ever won a case on his own, to tell you the truth, but I'm not going to say his name.
I think
he claims responsibility for stuff that he didn't have anything to do with. But I
think I know where you're going with that. It's not easy reading, but battery low. Look at that.
Battery low. I want to go to the movies. There's a movie out that I want to see called The Pope's Exorcist.
What is that
Really?
about? The Pope's
So
Exorcist?
yes, I mean that's it's based on a real guy. So the director of the movie The Exorcist,
Yeah.
about 5 years ago, did an actual documentary about the chief exorcist in Vatican, whatever, I can't remember his name, and it actually followed him, and he did like an actual like exorcist, and it was pretty cool, and like you're like, wow, how she's like spitting out words in like Aramaic or some language that like nobody knows, and but anyway, so this movie that it's Russell Crowe is playing the Vatican's chief exorcist.
Okay.
I want to see it. It's also fat Russell Crowe, which I don't feel like I feel okay about Russell Crowe being in a bad shape, because his body type is more like mine in the movie instead of Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Yeah, it's been a while since he's looked like that. Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks like in a caved-in ashtray right recently.
He was in a movie where he was playing like a psychotic truck driver, chasing a woman too.
He's always playing somebody psychotic. Gotta wonder.
Well, he was in what, Romper Stomper? You remember? Have you ever watched that movie? That's like his
No.
first big movie. He plays a neo-Nazi in it. Skinhead. Damn.
So you say the word Nazi.
Yeah, well, I didn't figure you were gonna watch it, but I did ask.
No. I'm just saying you coughed when you said Nazi.
Oh, well,
half hour that we were talking
it could be
about.
I'm allergic to that word.
Yeah.
But that word gets thrown around so much now, it doesn't really have its real meaning anymore. Everybody's a fascist and a Nazi now.
Yeah.
Even Jews. I've seen people call like traditional like Hasidic Jew like on Twitter like expressing an opinion that is unpopular in today's society about certain alternative lifestyles.
And people call him out.
They called him a trans-hating Nazi.
And
I'm like, you could have used a different word there.
Yeah, that's very choice there.
Yeah. You could have used a different word there. I mean, that's not. I mean, you can disagree with somebody's opinion. People are still allowed to have an opinion.
Yep.
No.
You can disagree with that opinion. And that doesn't make it hate speech.
Articulately.
Now, if I said I would go out and cause physical harm to somebody that I didn't like, or that had to express it or lived a different lifestyle than what I then that would be, if I'm threatening violence, then you could call that hate speech. But saying that something is unnatural in your religious beliefs is not hate speech.
No.
It's disagreement.
People aren't allowed to disagree anymore. That's what I said, is that word, that Nazi word no longer has any weight because it's been bandied around so much now that it no longer means anything. Because everybody that I disagree with is now a Nazi.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Oh, Troop hasn't said anything for like 20 minutes now. I was just the chat hasn't moved, and I was like, is anybody still here? Did we chase everybody out?
It's 9.
I don't like this thing on Windows where if you hover your mouse in the right like window screen start popping up, like on the bottom right hand there's a pop-up with like Windows crap on it, advertisements and shit. Yeah, it's like there's USA Today articles and NBA scores and all sorts of stuff. It's 66 degrees and windy in Corpus Christi, Texas. The weather just popped up.
It's 51.
It was 90 degrees today. I had to actually go out and water the grass.
90?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 53 degrees and windy, cloudy. It's crap today.
But it was 90 at like 4 o'clock, and now it's 66.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is South Texas.
From hot to frost.
I hope no more snow. That's what I hope.
Yeah, we didn't get any snow. I bought a snowblower, and my wife said, "Oh, well, it won't snow now," and it didn't. So I've just been running it every couple of weeks. I run it for a few minutes.
just put some miles
just
on
rev
it.
it up, put some miles on it, just to keep the gas moving and the carburetor, everything going.
Honey, you got to move
cool
the couch.
that way. It starts right up. Starts right the fuck up.
You could winterize it now. I don't think you're going to get into.
What do you do to winterize it? You got to put.
Like you drain the gas tank and make sure that there's no gas sitting in the lines.
Carburetor.
Yeah.
In the lines. Yeah, I might have to just.
Like,
do you drain it, or
do
you just run it till it's dead?
When when we did our lawnmowers in the wintertime, when we were going to put them up for the winter, we would just, they had the gas, the air filter thing. You take that off. It's like that sponge that the gas will soak into sometimes where the carburetor is. Take that out and you squeeze it out and dry it and drain all the gas out of it.
Where do you put the gas?
In a gas can.
You gotta pick up a fucking snowblower. Even
no, I'm talking about lawnmower. I don't have any experience.
Lawnmowers are heavy too. Lawnmowers are heavy.
No, I pick up one when I mean a push mower. I'm not talking about a tractor.
Yeah. I'm not talking about a tractor either. Where do you think I live? It's a push car. It's like a push, with
a
blades.
Push mower, yeah.
No, it's a push snowblower.
Yeah, but I'm talking about lawnmower. You're saying lawnmowers are too heavy to pick up, but they're not.
Both of them are. I just can't imagine dumping the gas.
You just tilt it on its side like this.
That's not going to happen. Run some stable through it.
Run
it into a stable?
Run some stable through it.
What's he talking about? That's what they do where you live?
It's Troop. I don't know what Troop is talking about half the time. But he does have a cool dog.
Stabilizer.
I think, doesn't he have 2 right now?
Well, he takes one. I always see in videos that he's taking one to the beef jerky store or whatever.
Yeah, he used to do videos of that. I don't know.
And he had one pass away, God bless his soul, but
Really?
And one of his German Shepherds passed away. But I think they got a puppy.
He has 6 now. Had 6, then they foster.
You know how expensive a German Shepherd is in Texas? Like $3,000 for a damn German Shepherd.
Wow.
I want one, but I'm not paying $3,000.
Why?
Why would I not pay $3,000 for a dog, or why are they $3,000?
Why are they $3,000?
Because there are people that are stupid enough to pay $3,000.
Wow.
But
that's insane.
It's got to be delivered to Texas because I'm not coming to Minnesota. Minnesota. Especially if it's still cold.
No.
But I want a dog that I can train to eat my mother-in-law. Can we get a pit? I can get a pit bull, right? I can get a pit bull. No top. This is South Texas. I'm going the right neighborhood and.
Oh.
I mean, we still have chicken or cockfights, in some of the neighborhoods here.
Yeah. Well, he's a beautiful dog. Is he hungry?
But what's funny, on my birthday, I said to my wife, I'm going to get a pit bull and I'm going to train it to eat everybody but me.
Yeah. And she wasn't
having that. And my mother-in-law went, because she knew I meant her.
Not fond of her, are you? Oh.
I'm waiting to be groggy one night and somebody like move around in the house and startle me and like an unfortunate incident happen.
Like a dog. Wow.
The guard dog didn't identify herself properly. But I had a German Shepherd when I was a kid. He was called King, and he was black. He was solid black. He had one patch of color on him.
How'd you know it was black?
Because I could see him.
I'm just kidding.
But he would.
Just assume.
If anybody came onto the property that he didn't know, he was going to bite and hold on to them until he was trained.
Could be Jewish. Shalom Aleichem.
Can dogs be circumcised?
I don't know.
Good night, folks.
I don't know if it's necessary.
Now, I was speaking of Jews, I was listening to a video.
Be like a single hump dog.
And they were talking about beards in actual like Jewish rules, and they said that Jewish people were not allowed to have beards.
They're not allowed to shave.
Is that what it was? One or the other?
They're not allowed to shave.
Like,
they're not allowed to use a razor. You can use an electric razor, but you can't use a blade.
Because they were talking about Jesus. That's what it was. Was somebody was arguing that Jesus would not be shown with long hair or beards because it was against the rules.
But he was.
I know. So I have to find it now. That he wouldn't have long hair and he wouldn't have.
I mean, I can understand he didn't wear shoes, but
that they were allowed to have the hair on the sides had to be.
It never stops growing.
Yeah, but I can't remember now. I'll have to find it.
Pegasus.
It was because what it was recently. Okay, so they did a 3D model of the shroud of what the hell is it called now? That's supposedly Jewish's burial cloth. Jesus's burial cloth. What's it called? The Shroud of Turin. Yeah. So they took the Shroud of Turin and they made a 3D model of what Jesus would look like if it was real. And they were arguing about whether he should have a beard or not. And they said no because he would have shaved. And I'm like, I thought because every rabbi that I've ever seen on TV has got a beard. Every. And
yeah.
So obviously you would think if he comes
even the ones who can't grow a beard have a beard.
Do they have a fake beard?
It's just scruffy, nasty growing
mole
hair.
Even the ones that don't have one.
Oh, let me see. Let me see if I can find. An example of what you're talking about.
In your case, my dog's half white, half black. But mostly white.
No, this is wrong. This is wrong. I was gonna show a picture, but this would be wrong.
Don't do it. Just put a link in.
Everybody can make a choice.
Break everybody else's computer. I'll put up a picture of my dog.
So what you're saying is that even the ones that can't grow hair, like would look like this.
Hair. No, that's just a caricature. What is that, crayon?
No, this is Team America. You never seen that movie?
That's terrible.
It's a horrible movie.
That looks like a Shalom Aleichem.
No, it's puppets. It is. It's a what do they call it? It's a puppet movie about
yeah, but they use the puppets for their Muslim puppeteering as well as their Hasidic puppeteering. It's just different nights, same puppets.
Durka Durka Allah Muhammad Jihad. That's a funny movie. I don't care what anybody says. It makes fun of the Baldwin brothers, so it has to be funny.
Well, then I agree with that.
Yeah.
They do like Fiddler on the Roof and Mohammed Underground. You know, these are two different puppet shows, but they.
That is hilarious. I would never have thought that somebody would have done that.
Never seen it.
No, I'm talking about the Shalom thing that he was talking about.
Oh, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem.
Dude, and I swear every time I'm on this Discord channel and the guy shows up, I'm like, hey, Shalom Aleichem. Everybody else is laughing because they're like, are you making fun or are you being serious? I'm like,
I'm making fun.
I'm making seriously, like, dude, you're retarded. If you can believe that. You go look it up. Not you. It's not even worth looking up.
Okay. So this weekend last weekend I was bored. I was looking at what was available on HBO and what the hell is the name of that? Gods and Generals. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Is that what it's called? It's a movie about Moses, and Christian Bale plays Moses.
Interesting.
I
think I've seen that.
It's a Ridley Scott movie. I don't think it's called Gods and Generals though. It's Christian Bale.
Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Gods and Kings, that's the one.
Yeah.
So, like, seeing Christian Bale trying to be Moses is hilarious. And Joel Egerton plays Pharaoh. He's got, if you're using the Yul Brynner, Charlton Heston. So Christian Bale is trying to be Charlton Heston, and Joel Edgerton is trying to be Yul Brynner. And they do the whole like personification of God in this, but God is portrayed in this by a little boy. Like he's like an 8-year-old boy. So when the scene of the burning bush is there, it's this little boy is standing beside the burning bush, and he's telling Moses, who used to be the general of Egypt's armies, that I need a general. So he recruits Moses, and this is based on the Ten Commandments movie than any biblical story, because I don't think anywhere in the Bible it ever refers to Moses as being the cousin of Pharaoh. But anyway, so this film is portraying God as this little boy, and throughout the movie, he's a little boy. And there's a scene in there during the 10 plagues where Moses was like, why are you doing this? And he's like, and the little boy throws a tantrum. And I'm like, I don't know that I like that God would be throwing a temper tantrum saying that I want them to suffer. And I'm like, I mean, it's a pretty movie, but I can't, I can't get behind this God being like an 8-year-old little boy throwing a tantrum. But the special effects are quite good in the film. But it's as bad as the Russell Crowe Moses movie. Maybe not quite as bad as the Russell Crowe Moses movie, because that one was pretty bad.
Yeah, I can imagine Russell Crowe as Moses.
Well, there's a scene in there where he's building his ark, and these stone like creatures come out, and they are, what did I say? Noah. Yeah, Noah. The name of the movie is Noah. And they help Noah build the ark, like they're fallen angels or whatever. They're giant stone monsters that come down and help build the ark. So I'm like, I don't know where that came from in the Bible, but okay.
All right.
Yeah. And at the end, they become angels because they have redeemed themselves, and God brings them up into the heavens.
The rock people.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't think we need to talk about religious movies anymore.
Weird.
But just the idea that God is being portrayed in this film as an 8-year-old child throwing a tantrum, that was kind of bad.
I don't think, well, I don't want to say it. I don't want to get into this conversation too deep.
No, I mean, that's about it. I mean, that's as far as I'm going to go.
Yeah, you don't think God threw a tantrum when he was inventing all this shit?
Oh, I'm sure God has, not as a child. I mean, God obviously is capable of anger because he did flood the earth and kill all but like one bloodline of people, supposedly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course he can be angered. He sent some angels down and said, "Hey, I want you to turn these 2 cities into like ash. And if any of them people that are escaping turn around, I want you to turn them into pillars of salt. Okay, go ahead, go. Go down there and kill the firstborn of every family that doesn't have their windows and doors painted in blood." Of course, he can be angry. Don't get me wrong, but it was just the way they portrayed it as a child.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a religious person,
Believability.
yeah, it's just the idea, Yeah. And I like Ridley Scott. I mean, he's made some damn awesome movies.
I don't know. who
Only
that
a
is.
child with Duplo blocks can build a platypus. I think that was just parts that he had left over on his workbench that day. Let's make a mammal that lives in the water. Hey, I got a duck bill here. Let's give it a venomous bite. I think that was just parts that he had left over from like when he was making ducks and snakes. I mean, platypus is proof that God has a sense of humor.
There you go.
And the faces that guys make when they have orgasm. That's another proof that God has a sense of humor.
There you go.
Actually, I stole that from a comedian.
And the shit that women let you say when you're having an orgasm. That's also,
As long as
like all of a sudden it's
not a
fair
different
game.
woman's
It's like
name.
all of a sudden it's fair game. Everything's good, but you say any of that kind of stuff when it's, you're not, it's like,
Yeah, just don't call her like Susie if her name is Sharon.
no, I wasn't saying you would do that. But, has that happened before?
Well, I mean, I not to me, but other people have accidentally referred to their current partner as the past partner.
I was worried that you're gonna say something like in the middle of the night while you're sleeping, scream out some girl's name.
Oh no, I don't. I don't yell out random names in the sleep.
I do.
I'm not a
in the
sleep
middle of the
talker.
night, but nobody. It seems like nothing I say is comprehensible at that point. But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No. I think I get all my talking out like while I'm awake because So there's no left over for when I'm sleeping.
There's no left over.
There's none left over.
No.
None. Well, okay.
I talk in my sleep and I
is
don't pay attention. 2. No, 1:30.
1:30.
I mean, I've checked. I stayed up all night one night to make sure that I didn't snore, and I never snored.
No.
They have apps for that. You can get an app for that to see how many times you snore. It just records.
Well, I have a wife that
sleeping
kicks
only
me if
you
I
wake
snore,
up.
so I know.
Janice had a little pleasurable story of me being a snorer, and she was telling my sons that she would reach over, grab the pillow, yank the pillow, and then I would, jerk my head and stop snoring, and that's how she got me to stop snoring every time.
Well, I use
do you have a permanent jerk? You permanently
a chronic jerk
in bed while you're sleeping, and you don't snore anymore, but you have a twitch.
It's just a twitch. What are you doing? Stop us snoring.
I used to
now
wear
epileptic, but I don't
wear
snore.
those strips on my nose.
Yeah, tried that,
and that did apparently bring the volume down.
The volume down.
Of the snores.
Well, that's not as advertised.
No. But I went and had a sleep study done, and I do not have sleep apnea. Right. But the girl was like, "We've had some people in here before, and you snore louder
they
than
should be
anybody
dead, some of them,
that we've ever had in here."
And you said, "Thank you very much," right?
She said, well, the doctor's like, you need to go see an ear, nose, and throat guy to do a check to see what bones are broken in your nose. And I was like, I've been punched in the face, but I've never had a broken nose. He said, maybe not on the outside, but on the inside, there's something in there.
Oh, wow.
Okay, then.
Because there's something that's getting obstructed.
Huh. How about that?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
now that we're talking about my sleep snoring, what else can we talk about? Yeah,
me going to bed.
Kevin has no interest in Star Trek, but there are a lot of people that are either praising Star Trek Picard season 3.
Yeah,
if you're a Trekkie, or they're completely hating it because of social issues that are included into the plot. I think people should make TV shows and stuff to entertain and leave any agendas on the, outside, in my own personal opinion. But, it's entertainment. It's not supposed to be educational. I just want to see more spaceships and explosions.
I don't like Star Trek any more than I like pineapple on pizza, but I don't mind your right to like it. So there you go.
I didn't
like it away.
Yeah,
like away.
I like old Captain Kirk and Spock Star Trek. The original show. That's what I grew up on.
The closest to sci-fi I really liked was the Lost in Space show. That's about as far as I went. I did see
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
I like watching those. But
Phil is a collector of Robbie the Robot. And
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No. When we did our little nerd show that we did that one time, he brought out his collection of Robbie the Robots. He has thousands of dollars worth of Robbie the Robots.
Wow. All right.
And Bill's into that stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But all right, well, since we don't have anything useful to talk about, we're running out of nonsense and we're just talking about crazy stuff. I guess we'll just say goodnight to all of our friends. There's still 8 people that are sitting here listening to us look like a bunch of idiots.
Babbles.
Yeah, I'm glad Al came on because Andrew's always hiding from us.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna say goodnight to everybody with a video. Let's see.
Busy moving.
Let's see. Let's make it a short one. I'm gonna make it a short one. I won't play a long one tonight. I'll play Andrew's ex-governor.
Oh, goodness.
So everybody say goodnight. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
See ya.
Shalom alaikum.
Vaping is better than smoking. Technically, yes. But so what?